Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're playing Esper Token Control. This is in the Esper colors, and we've got access to all the good cards in Esper, including Plow, including Thoughtseize, and of course, including the Cantrip Suite and Force of Will. But we also get access to two very powerful Planeswalkers, Kaito, and two of each. But the main exciting part of this deck is that it creates tokens and that we benefit from creating those tokens. We have Staff of the Storyteller. This card didn't get a lot of play because it was printed right before Orcish Bowmasters, but when this artifact enters, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. Whenever you create one or more creature tokens, put a story counter on this artifact, and you can pay 1 white, tap it, remove the story counter, and draw a card. That's a pretty powerful engine, and also since it creates the 1/1 white flying spirit token when it enters, it basically replaces itself for 1 white mana. But there's a risk because drawing cards is very dangerous in Legacy because of Orcish Bowmasters. We're playing 4 Orcish Bowmasters, which not only take out opposing Bowmasters, but also create an Orc army, which triggers Staff of the Storyteller. So this is a natural combo that people like I Would Like to Respond picked up on immediately and started brewing with way back in 2023. The other thing to note about doing this is that we can play this new card, Stormchaser's Talent, and this will also trigger Staff of the Storyteller. Let me read this card. This is the first time I played this card on the channel, but it's a very powerful card. 1 blue mana. It's a class. When this class enters, create a 1/1 blue and red otter token with prowess. So whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this token gets +1/+1 till the end of the turn. So pretty cool ability, and you're getting the creature, but you're also getting this enchantment, and this is a blue card you can pitch to force, and you can bounce this to your hand with Teferi. We've got 2 of them in the deck, and replay it, so you can get value that way. It's important that it's blue, and it's important that it creates a token. Even if it's a mediocre card, in my opinion, it's still very valuable for those reasons because we need to have a high blue count for force. But what makes this card a lot better is its level 2 ability. You can pay 3 colorless and 1 blue if the board's like stalled out and you have nothing going on and you're both in top deck mode. Boom. Return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. You can play this as a sorcery. And then, of course, the ultimate ability, which may come up. We'll see. It'd be exciting if this came up in the league. We certainly had the mana in the deck to enable this. Whenever you cast an instant or a sorcery spell, create a 1/1 blue and red otter token with prowess. So it becomes kind of like a Monastery Mentor type effect. I mean, it's like literally Monastery Mentor. So pretty cool. I think Monastery Mentor actually is any non-creature spell, but this is just instance of sorcery, but it's still very powerful. So we tucked that into a general control shell where we have the best removal spell ever printed. We have the best disruption spell ever printed in Thoughtseize. We've got plenty of cards to power out Force of Will, and we've got a great mana base that includes 1 of each of our basics and a whole bunch of fetches, a Surveil land, and 3 Wastelands. I think Wastelands are very important in control decks. This only has 20 land sources, but I think it's okay because we won't necessarily be using these Wastelands to waste our opponents in a lot of matchups. They're mainly there to stop key lands like Mistrise Village, which gives uncounterability to like One Rings and stuff like that. We can't have that. And cards like Urza Saga that generate a ton of constructs that get out of control very quickly. Or, of course, cards like Tabernacle of Pendrell Vale, which I've been playing against quite a bit. And this is, of course, very important against Cavern of Souls for those Nadu decks. So our goal is to essentially get some value off Storyteller, get value off Kaito and Teferi and Tamiyo, and gradually take over the game. We can go pretty quick with aggressive Bowmasters and with aggressive Stormchaser Talent and Wastelands, but I don't think we're going to be doing that in most of the matchups. It is nice to have that kind of pedal to the metal ability though. The sideboard is 2 Hydroblasts. For red decks, we've got a Grafdigger's Cage, and I always like to have 1 Grafdigger's Cage and then a bunch of Nihil Spellbombs. I think Nihil Spellbomb is a more flexible card because it comes in against tempo, whereas Grafdigger's Cage is exclusively like an anti-graveyard combo card. We've got 2 Barrow. These can come in to help us just have more threats against controlled decks. These are also very good against aggro decks because of the lifelink and the Death Touch. We've got 2 Harbinger of the Seas for 12 post and land style strategies. We've got 3 Force Negation for fast combo and 2 Prismatic Ending. I love this card, and it's very flexible, and because of the basics, we can reliably use it against Blood Moon and other problematic permanents. This should be a fun, flexible deck. It should be a fun league. I'm not sure what the power level of this deck is. I just brewed it. Again, if you look at I Would Like to Respond, he's been brewing decks in this space that he's playing like Urza Saga, and I just didn't like the idea of disappearing lands in my control deck. I wanted to play a deck that had a more stable mana base. So we're going to see how this does, but it should be fun. See you in round 1. Round 1, we're up against a likely blue-black Reanimator player. I like this Thoughtseize a lot. I like the mana, just in case they try to tempo us. They do often pivot to like a tempo plan. We can take a look at their recent list that they trophied with a few days ago. 3 Tommy, 3 Orcs, Abhorrent Oculus, Brazen Borrower, Atraxa, and Archon, 2 Murktide. This is a lot of creatures here. And yeah, I'm glad we have this plow in hand. So Tommy comes down. Okay, so this is blue-red. Okay, I'm just going to plow this Tommy. I can just plow it off planes. If they're on Delver, which they seem to be. A lot of these Delver decks are floating around right now that play... yeah, and they did mold a 6. So, yeah, this Bowmaster will be very good if they're on the bobble. And what's it called? Oh, interesting. Are they on Jeskai? They may be on Jeskai, but Orcish Bowmaster is really good against Jeskai too. If they're on Jeskai, okay, Thunder Trap, so they're on Wizards, most likely. And again, like if you're new to the Be Excellent channel, like I do spend a great deal of time trying to figure out what my opponent is doing, because that is instrumental to figuring out, like if as a control player, you're essentially trying to defuse bombs. Your opponents are setting bombs, and you can't let the terrorists win, right? We gotta take out those bombs. So they grab Flame of Manure, thus lending further credence to the idea that they're on. Gosh, what do we do here? So, of course, Orcish Bowmaster is very good against drawing cards, but they have a wizard out, so they're going to be able to kill our Bowmasters. I think the simplest thing to do here, I do want to get my Tommy out, but they might just burn her with his Flame of Anchor, which is no fun. I think we do have to take a turn to hit their hand. So I do have the option of just getting a swamp, but I want to be able to Tommy and Flipper in the same turn cycle if I need to. So I'm going to go ahead and get an Underground Sea, thus revealing my true colors to my opponent. And Thoughtseize, and I'll probably take that Flame of Manure. We'll see what they have in hand. Magus in the Moon. That is terrifying. They don't have the mana for that, but they could easily draw the mana. Gosh, I think what we do... So right now they don't have anything to do with Flame other than draw 2 cards. So I think we just leave them with that. I'm going to take this Magus. I don't want to deal with this. Like, I'm not set up for it. I'm really glad I Thoughtseize. I mean, we have a white source. We could, in theory, plow, but it might be a while before we draw it. And now I'm thinking it's probably unlikely they're playing more than one. So their hand is Force, Dress Down, 1 unknown. 0 unknowns because they played out a land. They did draw the land, so we would have gotten Moon. We would have gotten Moon there had we not Thoughtseized. We keep drawing these Thoughtseizes. I'm going to trust that they only have one of these in their deck. Usually it's a one of. I think I'm going to go ahead and Thoughtseize them again. The Flame. I'm watching the Dressrosa arc of One Piece, and they have the Flame fruit. So whenever I say Flame, I think of that. It's so cool looking, that Flame. If you haven't seen One Piece, definitely if you have kids, watch it. Okay. So what are they doing? Are they going to draw? They're afraid I'm going to take this, so they're like, oh, I'll just go ahead and draw 2. That's fine with me. Now they're thinking, what if they have Bowmaster? Well, I can kill the Bowmaster and draw. I think they have to choose the modes up front. Just choosing target player draws 2 cards is the sole mode. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and Bowmaster. They have a Force in their hand. I actually think I let this resolve, and then I can Bowmaster later, because I don't want them to force my Bowmaster. It's important that I resolve it. They drew some bad cards. Okay. We could go and get this Bowmaster in while we know that they're not going to be able to dress down it. I think that's fine. I think I'm going to chill. The other thing I could do is just fire off this other Thoughtseize and just strip more of their hand. We are taking a lot of damage here, but I think that's actually totally fine. So here I'm just going to get another Underground Sea. And I'm going to Thoughtseize them again. They've got a lot of lands in their hand. So they have 2 lands. And you may be thinking, like, why do that? What's the purpose of that? It's just they can use that for a lot of things later. And I want to ensure that they can't, like, dress down to remove, like, Tamiyo's ability when we're trying to flip her or... Yeah. So I'm just going to play this out, and I'll pass Let me read the text on this. This is if you control a wizard when you cast this. So we might want to plow here because they could do that. Yeah, I'm just going to pass. We have lots of interaction up. If they attack in, I can just block here. 2 unknown cards in hand. It's worth noting that if I respond to like another Flame of Anor with a Brainstorm, I am putting her where she's going to get hit. Well, this kind of sucks. I think we plow once they target. That way they only get one of the abilities. No, they'll still control a wizard. Okay. Unfortunately, not a lot we could do about this. So they cast it. They're going to target our Tommy. So we need to flip the Tommy. So they are going to be able to knock a loyalty off her. They're going to go ahead and cast it. I don't think there's anything I can do here. I mean, I could like Brainstorm to try to find a force for that. So they're going to refill their hand, but I will have a flip Tamiyo and I will have Bowmasters for next turn. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and Brainstorm here with this ability on the stack because I don't want Tommy to die. Teferi is quite good in this matchup. I can put this Tommy back and I can just redraw this Teferi here. I can preserve loyalty on her by going ahead and just plowing this. I'll need to get rid of it eventually anyway. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and plow. So she has loyalty. A plus here. Play out this land. As much as I'd like to just Teferi, he is vulnerable. And I don't want to bounce this back to my opponent's hand. So I'm just going to chill. And I will wait. And it's possible my opponent has like a hard cast force. I could have just pinged to get rid of this. Maybe that was actually what I needed to do. I'm going to go ahead and go in. And I'm going to hope that they don't have yet another one of these. I do want to get rid of the Snapcaster before I can attack Tommy. They could dress down here. Oh, it's too late. It's already in play. That's fine. So they're not going to get the trigger, but it was a 2-for-1. We get the body. Okay, they ponder. It's going to be a grinder of a match for sure. This is exciting. I'm really happy we started off with a kind of like a fair mirror. A fair blue mirror. Okay, they're ending that, unfortunately. I think our top card is another Tamiyo. So I'll just play it out. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and just play Teferi first. They may have... Yeah, I'm going to play Teferi. I want to actually move the game forward. They may have Spell Pierce. They do. Okay, that's nothing I can do about that. I wasn't going to wait around. They're hellbent. I'm going to play out a Tommy here. And I was just attacking for 1. This is going to be a long game. I would love to draw a Stormchaser talent because I now have 4 mana. I could regrow like a Brainstorm or a Plow. I do think Stormchaser's talent is going to shine in matchups like this where you do get to use the 4 mana ability. Okay, that's precisely the kind of card they need to be drawing at this point. They find that wizard card, we're totally screwed. Okay, Brainstorm. They can still Brainstorm and have the mana for the wizard card. Like, this is the whole combo. They get the wizard down, and then they cast this Flame of Anur, and they kill something and draw 2 cards. It's like a 3-for-1. It's really strong. Did they find it? Snap can buy back Plow. We're not going to win this game, I don't think. They're out engineing us. Out card advantaging us. There's the prismatic ending. Yep. I don't know that the match gets any better for us post-board either. Well, I'm going to go ahead and attack. I'm not going to attack. That would be... I will just kind of like hold back. We'll just play this out. We're extremely vulnerable. They could have stacked it to where they have yet another answer on top like a flame, and it'll scoop to that. Another Brainstorm. They've seen so many cantrips this game, but like they've been digging for them with Thunder Trap. I mean, they basically have 12 cantrips if you include the Flame of Anur. I played this video on my channel, I believe. Another just 1-for-1. They can't attack with the snap. I'll absolutely trade. So let's take this. My hope is that like I draw Kaito and maybe they let this through instead of sacking their creature. Yeah, we're just gonna keep dropping Tommies. We've drawn all 4 of them. I mean. People say you shouldn't play all 4 Tommy, but she's been good. I mean, she's a decent top. She's good in game, early game. She's good in late game. Just need her to survive long enough for us to get a clue. I am going to block her. I don't think there's a downside. If they have flame, it's like getting... Eventually, we will get a good card. Okay. No blocks. Let's go ahead and crack the clue now. I'm trying to find something good. Wasteland. I think I just waste them off one of their red sources, I guess. Feels pretty pathetic. We do have a Surveil. It might have been better to just Surveil there, but like they do use their mana for lots of stuff. They are going to get a hit in here. They seem to be bricking, but that's not going to last. They have a very good late game. We have a good late game too, but We have to actually draw those late game cards. I'm only playing 20 lands. I would like to respond. He plays a ton of land. I didn't want to play that many. All right, so let's go ahead and play this. Hardcast Force. Okay. Go ahead and come in for a hug. I'm going to go ahead and draw a card with a clue. I do not have another Underground Sea in the deck, so I'm going to use these, and I can fetch a source if I need to off of this. Okay, Force. Not super helpful here, but something we can do. I have an end step Surveil. 17 minutes on the clock to their 18. Karakas is very good against Tamiyo. Now we'll know that I should just hold the Wasteland for Karakas, because that is going to be an annoying thing if I can't ever attack with Tamiyo again because they drew a land. It's like kind of humiliating. This mana source is also holding down the only thing I've got going on. I'm like very close to scooping. Archive. Show me the goods. That does answer the Karakas. I think I'm going to keep it just because like Tamiyo is a big part of my plan. Let's go ahead and just waste here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 exactly up, but I'm going to play this. I can't force anymore, but I need to get my clock going. Hopefully they break. They do play a lot of lands. I think they're probably on 20, 21 lands. They're going to draw reactive spells too, like Spell Pierces and stuff that are less good at this point in the game. If they draw Flame of Manure, which I wholly expect them to have 3 more of, kicking around in the remaining 30 cards of their deck, that's game. I'm just going to concede. I don't want to keep playing. They're going to draw 2 cards, Killer Tommy. Okay, so Hydroblast can come in. This is not a deck that's on my kind of like bingo card in terms of what I'm likely to face. I think Barrow can come in. It's pretty good. Like, it's harder to PE. They don't really have permanents we care that much about. Like, all their permanents generate value on the way in. So we're not going to be bringing in our own Prismatic Endings. I think Thoughtseize is pretty good. Like, it did a lot of legwork there in the early game. And had we actually drawn like Staff of the Storyteller or Kaito, like our value engines, then I think we would have been okay. We could trim on forces. This is like, we could just take out all the forces. That seems questionable. We're not trying to Tamiyo ultimate. Yeah, forces. I don't know that I want to trim them all. I think that's kind of reckless. I trim 2 of them. I could trim a Tommy, considering that they have Karakas in their deck. I don't want to go too low because then Kaito stops being as reliable to cast. Maybe I should. She is a blue card that doesn't generate much value. I'm tempted, super tempted to take out Teferi because he gets Hydroblasted, but I think being able to stop them from being able to like use Snapcaster and stuff is pretty good. I don't want to go down on lands. I think I'm going to run it like this. This is a Staff and Bowmaster hand. This is great. So we'll probably have to get our... I think we have a Scrubland in the deck. Let me check. We do not have a Scrubland in the deck, so we're not going to be able to get a Scrubland. And that's kind of my design. I like to have lots of blue sources. So I think probably the Plains is more important here. So I'm going to keep, and I'm just going to play this out, and we'll just go get Meticulous Archive. And then we'll try to start staffing. Unfortunately, Flame of Manure, one of the 3 modes is blow up to target artifact. So they could do that. It's a 3-mana spell, and it is Hydroblastable. And we're not going to be able to avoid... I think it's probably not correct to avoid Blood Moon here, because I do want to surveil and try to find land number 3. That can go in the yard. It's a good card later, but we just look for land directly. I don't want to spend mana to get land. Let's go ahead and just staff. Can be pierced. Piercing here. May play 4 pierces. That's a pierce. We have another one next turn. Nothing we can really do about that. Like, we are going to need to cast some non-creature spells this game, and their pierces are going to find a home. There's a proactive brainstorm. I presume they're looking for a fetch, or they have a fetch. It's possible that the Wasteland spooks them off of playing non-basics, which would be great. They don't know that we don't have any other lands and that we're aggressively trying to not use our Wasteland. Okay, and it's entirely possible they just have another one. Another Spell Pierce. Oh my goodness, come on, deck. All right, so options. I think we brainstorm because I really do want to hit a fetch. If they pyro, it'll be very sad. They will probably may not play a second basic island. Okay, great. I think I just want to play the Staff this turn, and then next turn I can play this and get another token off of it potentially. So we are going to draw these cards, but like they're not useful. I'll put 2 of them back. We'll draw 1. We do have an answer to Blood Moon. If they try to Blood Moon us, we have a Hydroblast, which we can cast off this island. All right, we're in. Finally. They'll probably just blow it up next turn, but it will be a 2-for-1 because we'll at least get the spirit token. Plenty of white mana to start cashing this in. So next turn, I could potentially drop a Stormchaser talent and start drawing cards, which would be great, and still have Hydroblast up. That's fine. Again, 2-for-1. It's like a pretty minor thing, but this token is not nothing. I'm going to go ahead and just drop this. Okay, we have the token. The prowess trigger doesn't really matter here. We could waste them off a land. I don't like doing that because we can use this ability. I think what I'm going to do is probably just ponder here. We're looking for a black source. This does trigger the prowess. Doesn't matter because we can't attack. I think this is shuffle because, again, I'm looking for a black source for these Bowmasters. I mean, Brainstorm is a good card. We could just chill for a turn. We could. I'm not going to drop anything. I want to hold up Hydroblast. I think it's increasingly important to hold up Hydroblast here. Yeah, so I'll just put the Bowmaster on the bottom, and I will take... And that way we have like emergency Brainstorm, but we know Brainstorm's not going to hit anything. I'll just come in for a hug, and we'll pass. 14 minutes on the clock. I do need to play quickly. I've got to win 2 games in 14 minutes, and this deck is not fast by any means. Ponder resolves. I mean, Bowmasters is an incredible card against them, assuming we can find black mana. Caracas. Not a fan. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to... Caracas, I don't want to deal with it. If they want to float, they can float. Okay, they don't float. I'm going to just drop my Tommy, and I can defend her. I'm not going to try to get additional damage out of this. I'm just going to attack and hold up Tommy. They're fetching. This could be a Hydroblast. Pyroblast, rather. I will Hydro to protect her because I think she's pretty important. Like the fact that my opponent's burning a Pyro on her tells me that she's important. It's worth noting that we can use Stormchaser's talent to buy back this Hydroblast later if we need to stop a Blood Moon. This does buff our Pyro, or our prowess. All right, now I'm just going to come in for 3. We do have a little bit of a clock going here. It's not terrible. There's a good chance they go after our Tommy, and we do have the Brainstorm to flip her, but like, okay, and if they force here, that's fine. I'm just trying to get in my 2-for-1s where I can. Okay, so still not finding what we need. I'm going to put these back. I'll draw 1, and I'll ponder. That fizzles. That's great for us. I think that was pretty aggressive for them to do that when I had the mana up. I guess I have used a Brainstorm already. There's a snap. They're going to just probably Prismatic End this. That's fine. It's a 2-for-1. Okay. That's fine. All right. So they got a 2-for-1. We got a 2-for-1. By the way, you may be asking, why aren't we playing Snapcaster Mage in this deck? I just have a lot of other things that I want to do with Prowess Trigger. There's the Underground Sea, finally. Oh, man, these cards are insane. I am going to draw the Underground Sea now. I kind of want to just push this out of the way with my Bowmaster. Be rude. We have the initiative, basically. Like, we are going to be getting stuff back with Stormchaser talent. I'm not going to Brainstorm for extra damage. Again, I think it's worth holding it. Brainstorm... The Brainstorm you cast, like the later in the game you cast the Brainstorm, generally the better it is because we're going to eventually run into lands and stuff. Hopefully they don't have Wizard into Flame of Anor. That'd be bad. I think they may be just playing to the clock now. I'm just going to come in with everything. I'm not going to do anything fancy. I'm going to hold this Bowmaster in case they remove one of my Bowmasters. Could Teferi here. I could just regrow Hydro. I think we're just going to chill. So we have Teferi on top. Okay. And they're not doing anything. I guess I could add to the board. They're not going to be able to Wrath instant speed. This basically puts them to dead on board. If this resolves, they may just force it. They will have to fetch the 6 to 4. Then what I can do is, because I have this prowess creature, I can potentially just turn through my deck. They could have, I'm not sure, Snapcaster. They could have a Snapcaster. I think most likely they're just forcing here. That is, I mean, I could just, do I want to just dig for a force because it's like KO? I'm just going to chill. I'll just take my 1-for-1 here. So if I just Brainstorm into a cantrip, the game's over. Actually, I don't even need to Brainstorm into a cantrip. This, I think, triggers prowess. Okay, and they scoop. Wow. So the deck did function as we wanted it to. We got good exchanges. Yeah, let's see how we can do in game 3. Hydroblast is exceptional here, and it makes me wish I had 3. I decided to shave 1 just to have a second Prismatic Ending, which is not relevant in this matchup. Tamiyo continuing to be just destroyed by them. I'm tempted to cut her completely because the Karakas came out both games, and I don't think they're playing more than one Karakas, but my goodness, that Karakas is like a magnet. Is there anything that we bring in? I mean, force is pretty important. I think I'm just going to run it back. I would love to get a Barrow out. Barrow, if we can get Barrow over 5 toughness, it gets a lot harder for them to deal with. They do have Plow, though. This hand is so mana intensive. My goodness. We can Surveil. We may not find a land. We have Brainstorm to find a land. I think we... And then we just take it slow. If they present like a Force of Will, I'll just... okay. Or I'm sorry. If they present a Tamiyo, I'll have to probably just aggressively... This is an insane card to draw. Again, everything but the mana. Ponder's fine. I'm going to be surveilling, just desperately digging for mana. I don't want to burn this Brainstorm trying to find mana. But it is nice that they're going to be tapped out of Hydroblast / Spell Pierce, so I can actually Brainstorm. And of course, if I find another land, I'm just going to jam the stat. There we go. That's perfect. That's exactly the land I needed. Just what I needed. All right, and we can just jam this twice. Hopefully they force, because it is a 2-for-1. They Prismatic End it. We still get the creature, and that creature did like 4 or 5 damage last game. It was not nothing that we had that creature. It is material, as they say in military, I think. Like the French pronunciation. If they Magus, I will... yeah, I'm just going to let that happen. Unfortunately, this card is a 2-for-1. Like their entire deck is 2-for-1. It's just like our deck. Okay, they reveal a Brainstorm. All right, well, I have a Bowmaster in my hand. I'm just going to attack and I'm going to pass. Could Brainstorm here, but I think it's highly likely they have removal. Okay, so hear me out. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate this, draw a card, just because I want to maximize the chances of finding a land here. Okay, another staff. I'm going to Brainstorm now. I am looking for land. I have plenty of cards to pitch to force. Wow, Scoob. That's great. So we can probably just play out the... we don't need this many... Like, I would hate for them to somehow like get one in our graveyard and then surgical it or something. I could play out this Plains to hopefully get them to deprioritize. Yeah, I'm going to play out the Plains. I don't have anything to cast here. Okay, the Brainstorming end step, that's fine. Doing it around Bowmaster is smart. The thing I'm most afraid of would be the Magus with Force Protection. Back to Basics is a must answer. There's a very good chance that they have an answer in hand. But I can't deal with this. I think we're closer to using Kaito than we are to using Teferi. They have Pyroblast in their deck. I think we pitch Teferi. Because if we get in a situation where we're relying on Kaito to win, Kaito's going to win it. Teferi's like not going to. This is the Pyroblast or Spell Pierce. And I think that's basically the end of the game. Unfortunately. We know we're drawing a bunch of cards that don't really do anything. Yeah, that's a big beating, unfortunately. It does lock down one of their lands, but it locks 2 of ours. And importantly, it locks this land that we're about to draw. So I think we just go ahead and play another staff. I think we have to. I think it's like basically a force play. We need to get combat on the table. We can use this Plains. We can eventually draw or fetch other basics. So these trigger each other. So we do have lots of card draw off this white source. Lots of looks at a potential Plains in the future. Or a potential island or swamp. We're hitting them for 2 in the air. They don't have any flyers in their entire deck other than Tamiyo. But if they do get a Tamiyo out and Flipper, then they block. They basically... All right. We're going to keep taking these hits. I'm just going to proactively draw each turn off of these. Because I do need to find a land. Okay. That's great. That's a land. Attack. I don't think they have anything else to disrupt our mana other than this and maybe like a Magus in the Moon. I think this has to be a black source so we can start stamping out Bowmasters, which is unfortunate because I would like to get Kaito, but we don't... I mean, like, Bowmastering every turn might be enough. They're going to maybe flame this and kill one of our things, which is okay. That's fine. Taking the pressure off themselves that way. Swamp! We can have it all. What a freaking deal. Let's go get our island. Back to basics. Ha! I'll show you. All right. I think it's better to just Kaito and start getting the Kaito beats here. We can immediately draw, like replace Kaito. The other option is, yeah, I just want to get Kaito on. He's so strong. And we will staff next turn probably. That was so lucky that we drew the swamp there. So they take 3. I'm going to go ahead and 0. I just want to get a card here. I actually don't think either of these are particularly relevant. What am I looking for? I'm looking for... Yeah, land basically is just not useful. Stormchaser Talon's not bad. That's a creature. I can Stormchaser and staff. I can staff into Stormchaser. Again, like we're going to be really crimped on mana for the rest of the game because there's not a card that we can draw in our deck that can really get rid of that. Wow. Yeah, drawing 2 cards, that's fine. They have lots of gas over there. Karakas, sure. Okay, they're going to attack our Kaito. What? They're not going to attack Kaito? Okay, they're scared. This is great. Okay, Wasteland. I think I just play it out as a mana source. I think I just attack and they chump. Then I can staff. Okay. I'm just going to plus this. A Pyroblast does him in. Yeah, I hate to do that, but I think it's worth it. We get that ability. We get our card, and I'm just going to charge him up. I mean, I do want to play this to charge it up, but I think I'm just going to chill with Bowmaster. Instead Bowmaster, even if they force it, it's still like, taxing them, and we can just Bowmaster every single turn for the rest of the game. You can force this if you'd like. Whatever you want to do. Just do whatever you want. I think we have got your number. Yeah, that's fine. 2 for 1. So we're just in like creature beatdown now. And like that Wasteland was basically like a Lotus Petal, like a colorless Lotus Petal. Didn't feel great, but it's done its job. We can draw a card next turn. We can make another Orcish Bowmaster attempt. We're still hitting them with Kaito. They need to find a Pyroblast desperately. Pyroblast takes some of the pressure off, but we still have pressure from the Orc Army and the Spirit. That's a land that will be tapped under their own back to basics. I feel very vindicated putting all 3 basics in the deck. There's Teferi. Sure. Teferi's not long for this world. That's fine. That's fine too. All right. So Force doesn't do anything here. We can just attack them. I think I'm going to go ahead and just try to get rid of Teferi. And now we can attack them. Is good that it bumps up that up. I'm going to go ahead and use this now. Hydroblast. That's a good card. I'm going to plus. And I'm just going to max damage. I know that this can be Hydroblasted at any point. They don't have any life gain in their deck other than plowing their own creatures. They do have 5 mana or 4 mana up. Kaito has them dead on board. They have to answer a lot. They probably have another basic island in their deck, but they probably don't have another basic plains. They do have to fetch if they want to use that. We have like so many cards charged here, unless they want to remove this, which is like the least of their concerns. If they let us untap, we have Hydroblast to protect our Kaito, but they wouldn't do that. They have to kill him now because when he's a creature. Good game. See you in round 2. Round 2, we're up against an Omnitell player. This hand is ridiculously strong against Omnitell. Joe L has been rocking this blue-black Omnitell deck, which several people have requested I play on the channel, so I probably will be, even though I'm a terrible Omni player. I suck so bad at combo, but it's probably good practice to play it, so I'll try it. This hand, though, is freaking gold. So we get Thoughtseize. Bowmaster is good, like basically the best clock you can have against them because they're just constantly drawing cards, and they don't really have a way to remove it. Punter. All right. They could be on anything at this point, though. We shouldn't presume fully that they're on Omnitell, but I believe that's what they've been playing as of like a month ago. But yeah, a lot of Omnitell. They did not shuffle. I don't think there's any practical reason to fetch a swamp here. That force is a sick rip, as the kids say. By kids, I mean anybody who's younger than 44. Okay. I'm pretty sure there are people in their 40s saying, sick rip, dude. Okay. This is the combo. They do have a Chrome Mox. They could do this as soon as turn 2. It's pretty scary. I'm going to definitely hit the show and tell. Kept that Ponder, so they may have a redundant one. Mox, this is your chance to shine. Come on. Jam it. I know you don't have protection. Jam that show and tell that you got lucky enough to draw. I am going to Tommy. I know it feels weird pitching well, Stormchaser can get me back a Thoughtseize, which is pretty awesome. I don't have any immediate way to flip Tommy. I think Stormchaser being more aggro is going to be kind of the tiebreaker here. Okay, they pitched Brainstorm. Interesting. So they do have Surveil, and they have Omniscience. Or I'm sorry, they have Lorien Revealed and Omniscience in their hand. Okay, so the question here is, do we want to invest by casting the staff? We do get a creature, and then we get an extra draw off Bowmaster. I think it's worth it because we've already taken care of 2 of those, and I think the way we win is we just keep drawing sick rips. Can you believe like how lucky we were to get that force off the top when we already had a Thoughtseize? Like they were lucky to get the show and tell, but we were lucky to get the force. So I think an important part of being a good Magic the Gathering player is like acknowledging when you get super lucky and not just acknowledging when you get super unlucky. Because I think way too many people just like, oh, can you believe that? Like so many lands in a row, you know, like, but think about all the times that you had like sick rips. Okay. So this is pretty awesome. We can go ahead and start with the Thoughtseize. I want to rip something out of their hand, get them farther from the combo. I think Lorien Revealed is a card they can cast here, but they can't cast it under. I think I'm going to take the Omni. And if they want a Lorien Revealed, we're going to have that Bowmaster there. Yeah. They know I have a Bowmaster. Why would I take a freaking Omni if they had that in their hand? They are 1 land away from using it. Yeah. And we're going to be drawing extra cards like nobody's business here. Yeah, that is going to be Bowmaster to the surprise of no one. But I think it's important to take the actual business spell out as well, because if they do find show and tell, they're going to be looking to put something in. So maybe it was like 100% the correct. There was never a question of whether Lorien Revealed would be the right take. But I think it's a legitimate consideration, taking the Lorien, considering how close they are to using it. Thoughtseize, 4x Thoughtseize feels so good. I was like thinking about, because this is a token deck, I was like, oh, I should put Cabal Therapy in there. But like, do you really want to take Thoughtseize, one of the best cards ever printed, and replace it with Cabal Therapy, which is barely legacy playable? Granted, it would be nice to be able to sacrifice my token, you know, potentially strip other things from their hand. But the guessing game thing is real. Like, you can whiff on those. And taking Material, I'll continue to use the French pronunciation, off the table, is, I believe is French. I just hear like these kind of like military strategy channels refer to it as Material instead of Material, which is how I always thought it was pronounced from like chat. Okay, they're thinking very hard on this ponder, and I'm just rambling. So I'll shut up and we'll see what they do. All right. There's the Tommy. I think first things first, I just want to draw. Because if I find a Thoughtseize, it's like so good. Brainstorm. So I could Tommy flip, and then I'm threatening regrowing. Let's go ahead and go in for the attack first, just to see if they have any actions. But I think Tommy plus Brainstorm is fine, because if I regrow a force, I do have a blue card for force. They're dead in like 2 turns. Okay. Plow for sure goes back. Swamp is not totally useless. I could play the Swamp out this turn and just draw the Stormchaser talent. I'm not going to play it. Yeah. I'm not going to say no to more mana. I do think it's probably correct to get the Force back as opposed to the Thoughtseize, because you can't Thoughtseize the top of their deck. So their hand is Lorien Revealed, 1 unknown. If they cast Lorien Revealed, they're basically dead. They'll probably just use it to surveil and get a land. Maybe if they have Mystic Sanctuary, it's too late. They don't have enough blue sources. Let's see whether they play Mystic Sanctuary. I would certainly consider playing it in my Omnitell deck. They do not. Yeah. At least not in that recent list from like a month ago. Can you tell I'm having a blast? There it is. What is this? The One Ring? By all means, feed my Bowmaster. I am going to definitely be regrowing the force here. So this old ping here. We're not just sitting here doing nothing thanks to Bowmaster. Okay. So I think I want to ponder first and see what I find. Okay, there's a force. That's great. Unfortunately, I don't want these other cards. It might make sense to just regrow the ponder. The other argument, yeah, I do want to regrow the ponder since now I have force up. And then what I want to do is ponder this away. So I have force up. I'll use this. So we're going to shuffle this. Kaito could actually come in, but I don't think it really matters. He doesn't really change anything. I'm going to shuffle. Well, these plows are bad. We're going to be boarding those out. Okay, we drew a land for turn. That's not bad. I guess I'll activate this just to see what I draw. Okay, I'll take it. I will take it. My opponent basically has to win through a force this turn or they're super duper dead. It may make sense to just... No, I'm definitely going to wait till the upkeep to put this in. Like, I think I'm going to wait till they actually activate. I do think flipping Tamiyo was a very smart move. I may say so myself, because we have kind of like virtual card advantage. We just drew like 2 additional cards by not drawing those plows. It's kind of how I look at it. Okay. All right, your move, Joe. They could absolutely still outmuscle me here. This is far from a done deal. They have a lot of mana, but they do not have Veil of Summer, which is a very important card that they do not have access to because they've chosen to play black instead of blue. Don't have it. Don't have number 3. Limdale's Vault. Let's see. They don't have that much life. I want them to lower their life. Like usually this is basically just Demonic Tutor, but it's Demonic Tutor for 5 cards, but you don't know whether they're the right 5 cards. I'm just hoping they tap this ring because they're absolutely looking for Show and Tell here. But they could find like Show and Tell plus a force and they could stack it in a way that they get the force. If they go a little bit lower, just a little bit lower, like if they go down to like 2, that's great. Because then they're dead to 1 ring activation. Or actually, if they go down to 4, they're dead to, or 5. If they go to 5, they're dead to 1 ring activation. It's a very cool card though. This is the first time we've seen this on the Be Excellent channel. So they just get to look at the top 5 cards. They don't get to like actually draw any of those. They have to actually tap the ring to draw those. 7. 6. Okay, now they can't force. Unless they force my actual Bowmaster. They could force that and then they still only lose a little. But keep in mind, they have to win immediately. And even if they get Omniscience in play, they have to... Okay. So now when they tap this ring, this should be GG. They've seen like almost their entire deck. Okay. And they stopped at 5, which is the number I was hoping they would stop at. So I'm going to go fetch. Okay. And they just scoop. I love it. I love how honest they are. They're just like, yeah, I can't beat that. Okay. All right. So this is definitely like a force of negation matchup. I think that's all we bring in here against their particular build. Yeah, so we don't have like, I considered putting Meddling Mage in, but it just didn't thematically jive with the deck. And my deck, I love cheap interaction. I love Thoughtseizes. I love free force effects. And then like these Planeswalkers are fine. I think it's kind of necessary because you need to have like a top end that you're drawn to that like shuts it. I think Stormchaser Talent is a blue card, and I'm tempted to keep it for that reason. Oh, wait. No, actually, there's like 0 consideration of keeping any of these in. These suck. I think we just bring in a Barrow. Oh, let's see. We might be able to cheese. I mean, cut them off black. What does that really accomplish here? How many black spells do they have? They have Beseech. We could probably stop them from ever using Beseech. Yeah. I think it's probably okay. Bargoyf isn't like a good threat. Like they're just going to ignore him like they ignore every other threat, and he comes out turn 3. I think if this comes down, it could potentially prevent a Beseech, and it could be pitched to force. That's my argument for keep bringing it in. Getting some great matchups so far. Hope you're enjoying the fireworks here on the Be Excellent channel. I love saying that, referring to myself in the third person. That's what Bosch and Roll does. He's like, the Bosch and Roll channel is brought to you by sponsor. Okay, this hand is nutty. We can Tommy, but we're going to Thoughtseize turn 1, and then we have the force up. Stormchaser's Talent is a great card to pitch to force. And I probably will. I think Tommy is like immediately useful, whereas the draw ability of this is, or the regrow ability is 4 mana. But we continue to get very lucky with our 4 Thoughtseize deck, drawing Thoughtseize in like pretty much every game so far. Otawara, scary. That's fine. Otawara is wastable, and we do play 4 wastes in our deck. Or 3. Okay. Top deck city. My goodness. We have been getting some very, very favored top decks here. Let's take that Show and Tell out of their hand. Long goodbye. You're actually respecting my board and doing stuff? Respect. So Drifter is like pretty terrible. It sucks, but they could brainstorm this attracts it at the top. But the thing is, it becomes a copy, but it doesn't get the ETB because it's not entering. And if they long goodbye my Bowmasters, it's a 2-for-1. So that's fine. Lorien, I could have taken this to like keep them off mana, but like I think you always take the Show and Tell. I think it's a huge mistake not to take Show and Tell. They do have force. They have, okay, they're going to surveil here. Yeah, because like we can't overpower their show and tell, and they could have just ripped a land anyway. I know you're probably thinking like why wouldn't you? And I would agree. So the option here is to get this stinky land out of our hand and just play a Tommy. I think that's fine. I think that's more important than Stormchaser. Stormchaser gets the clock going though, and it feels pretty bad to long goodbye a Stormchaser. And we're gonna be cantripping and doing stuff. Maybe this Stormchaser is worth it. Maybe we want to get on the damage train. I mean, we could Stormchaser and we could like double Ponder next turn. That seems pretty good. I mean, I'm excited to see how far this prowess pushes us. And we just hold Tommy as our... Because, I mean, this is going to be card advantage in itself later when we regrow our Thoughtseize. Fetching down to 19. Did you find the... Drifter's fine. Oh, this actually does block our Stormchaser. So we could... That's fine. They choose not to use the ability. So let's update their hand. They have one unknown and then those cards. Oh, this is flying too. So here's the deal. If we ponder enough, we can get Stormchaser going. The other alternative is we could just Tamiyo and then ponder twice. I think that's fine. They could long goodbye. It can't kill... Oh, we can kill Planeswalkers. Yeah, I think... I don't think we get on the Tamiyo train. I think we try to find cantrips. Ponder, trigger. Wasteland's quite good. Yeah, these are good cards. The fourth land unlocks our ability to get the card out of... I think we don't go after the mana. I don't think Wasteland's where we want to be. So I think I'm going to fetch now. I don't think Kaito's where we want to be either because this can... Oh, we can't kill Kaito! We're going to keep Kaito. We're going to keep Kaito. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Kaito. Now I'm going to ponder again because I want that land. And next turn we'll be able to, bounce this back to hand. I love this art of this otter. He's just getting all hyped up. Prowess. Like, who gave the otter prowess? What were you thinking? I mean, we could take the Wasteland just in case they rip like Mistrise Village. I'd rather just be able to fetch a Surveil land if we need it. No, we've already used our Surveil land. What kind of problematic land could they play? I don't know. My intention is probably to just not go after the land. Leave a comment with a timestamp if you think that's crazy. I haven't actually seen Mistrise Village played that much. Oh, no. I actually just kind of screwed up because now I don't have the ability to do anything with this. I can attack and they'll just block. They may not block because they may fear me having a Brainstorm in hand. That would be insane if that were the case. Please block. They're not blocking. It worked. Our Paper Dragon. All right. Paper Tiger. All right. I'm just going to pass. Again, next turn, regrowing the Thoughtseize should be quite good. But just sticking a Kaito and having scaling damage is fine. Does this find Griselbrand? Emrakul! Good game. I thought I was going to win. Okay. That was a cool trick. I've never actually seen that do anything. I've played against that card a lot, and I've never seen them actually reveal something meaningful. Okay. Vesuvian, they could have just put that in as like a little bit of a juke, and maybe we're like playing the plow is making a huge mistake. I'm not gonna fall for it. Am I? I think we take out the Harbinger. She's not super useful, and I'm a coward. What can I say? Yeah, my opponent said didn't even have to work for it. So I don't mind losing in some crazy zany way, just like I don't mind too much if my Comet Stellar Pup opponent rolls 6 3 times in a row, because it's just variance is going to happen. You can get tilted, but I try to like put on like a happy face, when those kinds of things, it's kind of delightful. Like, oh, of course. Like I had like this great plan laid out, and as the saying goes, man plans, God laughs. That's essentially what happened there. All right, and Joel is clarifying that he thinks that the clowns who run whatever it's called, the Vesuvian Drifter, without with just Brainstorm and don't play Limdol's Vault are engaging in a fool's errand, and I would agree. Okay, so this is not a keepable hand. We need a hand like we got previously. Yeah, this is fine. It's not like going to set the world on fire, but this Thoughtseize is a great way to open. Stormchaser's talent can lead us to Kaito on turn 3. I think I'm going to keep it. I'll just put back a Brainstorm. I am going to need these lands. But you always lead with the Thoughtseize in my experience. You don't mess around because they do potentially have like Petal or they have Chrome Mox in their deck. Like they can turn one you if you don't do something. And this is our sole point of interaction here. So I don't think there's any reason to fetch basics here. So we'll just get the Surveil land next turn. We'll play out the Stormchaser and we'll get the Surveil land. They've got a hand that does very little. 3 for 3 with that. Yeah. Yeah, they said 3 for 3 with Thoughtseize. So we took the stock up. Their hand is a bunch of scary cards if they draw Show and Tell. Archon of Cruelty and Atraxa. If they find a Force of Will, I'll be inclined to force it because it's basically Ancestral Recall. This is out. Thoughtseize number 2. I don't actually think we fire this off. I'm going to go ahead and just Stormchaser's Talent. And then I'll pass and we'll Thoughtseize them next turn. Because, like, there's a very small chance. There's a very small chance that they could, have the actual card in hand right now. 4 in 53. And we just die because they do have the Ancient Tomb heads up. We can take the Atraxa out of their hand. Archon is annoying, but it's not necessarily death. It is pretty bad. We have Brainstorm to find land number 3. It takes a turn off the clock. If we just wait, the same threat next turn. Yeah, I'm going to Surveil. So executive decision. I am acknowledging that I am dead if they just draw. I can still Brainstorm and maybe find Force. So we're not dead. That's great. Snow-covered island out. Okay. And now we can Surveil and hope to find land number 3 so we can Kaito. Kaito will be very strong. So I am going to pass to my block step, and I believe in my block step I can fetch. If they have Long Goodbye, this is the time to use it. They're not using it. Long Goodbye cannot hit Kaito because his mana value is 4. Next turn we have Stormchaser's Talent, but we're probably just going to... Let's see. I'm looking for another land so I can use Stormchaser's Talent. These Ponders are fine. Double Ponder on top. I greedy to put them both back. Or they keep them both because... Yeah, I'm going to put that in there and I'm going to draw this. Okay, so if they are able to get Archon out this turn, they can kill Kaito and we're probably losing the game. But I don't think they're going to be able to do that because they're probably going to have to cast a cantrip to set that up. Okay, so options. I think first things first, I'm going to go ahead and ponder. I'm looking for a Force. A Thoughtseize is fine. Now I feel kind of dumb for tapping the black like I did. They do not have a wastable land. They must have a third fetchable land that a basic island or something. I don't want this wasteland at all. I can just mill it away. I guess I'm going to just Thoughtseize them 2 turns in a row. I'm going to take Archon. I don't care as much about Atraxa. I can tap Atraxa and get her out of the way, but Archon can kill Kaito. Okay, they have a bunch of Long Goodbyes. I'll take the Archon. I don't think they have any reanimation type stuff in their deck. That would be scary if they did. Actually, I may have just enabled that. Oh my goodness. Did I just enable that? I'm going to go ahead and attack. And then I'll just Surveil again. My intention is to just continue to ride this card advantage train to victory. But we do need to find a Force. They could still Show and Tell Atraxa. And even though I can stun Atraxa, could I win if I stunned Atraxa? Just because I can stun her twice and then hit 3 times. Man, I'm really kicking myself for tapping the way I did because Thoughtseizing him twice would have been really good. I think I'm just going to graveyard both of these. I would like the land, but I really want to draw a Force. Okay. Yes. So we could Stormchaser Talent and up the pressure. We are going to be Thoughtseizing, so it's worth 2 damage next turn. I think it's worth it. They can potentially kill this, but it's got to feel pretty bad. It may make sense to just Long Goodbye this. I don't know if they're going to get better targets. Yeah, maybe we turned that on in a way we didn't have to, but if we draw a Bowmasters later and the game goes a little bit longer, we will be happy. Okay, so they have a lot of basics in their deck, that's for sure. Stock up. I'm going to let that happen. I don't think they have any way in their deck to deal with this, but they could draw Sink into Stupor. but they have to hit it as a planeswalker. So we're going to hit them at least once more and get another card off it. I'm very much looking forward to Thoughtseizing them after they've stocked up. If I draw a land, then I have Heartcast Force up as well. Fetching a land. This might be like a Brainstorm or a Ponder just to get it out of their hand. Swamp. Thoughtseize. I'm going to let that happen. They're losing some life here. They may take our Thoughtseize instead of our Force. They have to decide. They're going to be at 11. So if I tech up to 4, then I hit them, and then I tech up to 5. They're still not dead. I don't think I plus. I don't think I plus. I think I just keep zeroing. I want to hold this for Force Negation or Brainstorm it away. I'm just going to go ahead and come in for a hit first. Okay, so we have 1 Thoughtseize left in our deck. Let's see if we can find it. Staff, I think it's just too slow. This land is fine, but else really? Tommy dies to Long Goodbye. I think at this point I do want to just Brainstorm. See if I can find a land. I know I binned a bunch of lands there. There's the Thoughtseize that we wanted. That's freaking dumb. That's amazing. I was trying to think of like some adjective to use there. Okay, so Tommy goes back. She's just not useful. Face for talent. We can play it out. I'm going to go ahead and do the card that they didn't want me to have. I am playing all 4 for a reason. Show and tell. Bye-bye. I think we just Stormchaser talent. Just to have more material. What was their hand again? Do they still have the Long Goodbye? Okay. My opponent said you run 9 of those, I take it. They do still have a Long Goodbye in hand, I believe. I looked at their hand so quickly. Yeah. I think we just pass with Force Negation up. My opponent is, taking it in stride that we're just like destroying them. I don't know what I do here. Ancient Tomb. They're not going to be able to cast Atraxa without like a lot of petals. So we plus, then they can't even tap this. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by doing this. I probably should have pondered first because there is a risk that I don't find what I need. Okay. I'm going to ponder. I think they're just going to kill this. If I can't find a blue card, then I have to Kaito because I do need to have that force up, but I just want to basically force them to use this so they can't Brainstorm it away later. I don't know how useful it is. I'm just going to take it slow. They can't draw a combo card and a... man, I guess it's entirely possible that I don't find a blue card here. And I punted by pondering. It's entirely possible. Because I think they're probably just going to kill this anyway. I could draw a cantrip. Okay, this is fine. So a second Force Negation. I'm going to take the Tamiyo now. And then I'll just draw the Force Negation. I guess I am going to just keep attacking instead of plussing. I want to get a second Force Negation in my hand. And that way if they Thoughtseize me, they're not going to be able to take it. This is the Long Goodbye. Okay. They take 3. And now they can no longer Thoughtseize the Long Goodbye out of my hand. Or I'm sorry, the Force Negation, because I'll have a second one. I'm going to put this in my graveyard and have faith that I can find another blue card. This card is freaking cracked. Like, so strong. Extremely difficult for them to get rid of it. They said so close. They're not necessarily dead on board. Well, yeah, they are, because I can just plus. I got a colorless land, and that hurt me, but it's the wrong one. Okay. So, yeah, they are going to take 5 here. I just plus an attack. They have to pay life, too. Yeah. Good games. All right, that felt great. See you in round 3. Round 3, we're 2-0. We're up against an opponent that plays a broad array of decks, including Beanstalk, including Stifle Knot. I love opening up hands, just seeing the sheer volume of interaction we have. This is great. I think I'm going to start with Tommy. I think she is the strongest turn 1 play here. Stormchaser's talent's cool and all, don't get me wrong. But if we can manage to draw into a staff, I'd much rather cast staff, and then this represents like a 1-mana cantrip plus token. I'm going to be bold and play out my non-basic here. Because I want to be able to surveil or get my black mana later. Mire. Swamp. Are we against Reanimator? Okay, I think we're just against tempo. Because combo decks don't generally play removal. All right, staff seems freaking solid here. I'm going to go ahead and just get the Underground Sea, play out the staff. I'll let them cast the first Bowmaster. If this is in, this is so good. All right. Yeah, they wouldn't have had access to days because of the way they fetched. But they're not wrong. Like against me, like I'm a known tempo player. Like pretty much every deck I play has like 2 or 3 wastelands in it, or 4. Okay, they are going to waste here. Stalker. Respect. I love this card. Please waste me off black and not white. Okay, this is going to get bigger before we can interact with it, unfortunately. Oh, we could be cooked, fam. That is pretty powerful. Okay, I am going to go ahead and just brainstorm or ponder trying to find a mana source. This is a shuffle. No mana source. We are screwed. We have 20 mana sources. There's no point in holding back. Let's just swing in. If they follow up with another wasteland, we are like super in the dirt. I do have double Bowmaster in hand though for their Bowmaster, which is important. They could be on mono black aggro. Just freaking throw some more dirt on me here. I'm lying in this hole in the ground. Down in a hole. It's a great Alice in Chains song. Okay, so we're taking that. They get to descend again, so they've got 5 power on the table. We're just getting shown the door here. Get out of here with your fancy pants, you know. Okay. So sadly, I think the play here is just to get the basic planes and plow one of these before they could play a daze. I just don't want to die. I'm too young to die. Isn't that the difficulty setting on Doom? Yeah, I'm going to get the planes and I'm just going to plow. Make sure this works. I mean, like these have menace anyway. Yeah, that may seem like a cowardly play. Like I could be drawing cards when there's not a Bowmasters out and trying to line up my next land, but like I don't want to take a ton of damage. They are relenting a little bit with this Goyf. They can at least be blocked. Yeah, I think they're on just like mono black mid-range. We got to draw land. Oh! I don't think attacking them does a damn thing. But I don't think I'm ready to block. I'm trying to think of what could transpire. I mean, we're going to have to force, so we're virtually at 13 plus 2, 3, 4, 9, effectively, going into our next turn and still digging for land. We have no way to dig for land now. This force will definitely be pitched. Like, I'll definitely pitch Kaito because Stormchaser talent, I'll probably need a chump with that. Okay. I guess I'm not going to attack it. I'm not going to block yet. The longer we wait to block, the bigger it gets, and they might Bowmaster it out of face anyway. I'll force a Bowmaster for sure. They are down to 3 cards, but I don't think that's going to matter. There's this concept in Tempo where it's like, I like to call it like Tempo card advantage. You end the game where while your opponent still has 6 cards, and it's like you drew 6 cards. It's like you're plus 6 cards on your opponent. All right, there's the Bowmaster mana. Again, it must be stopped. There's no way like I'm waiting around to draw my own Bowmaster to deal with their Bowmaster. I'll also force a Douthie. I might even force another Nethergoyf. Yeah. Bye, Kaito. You would be great if this game were going to have... Okay. Wait. How did they descend? Did they fetch? Wait, how is that descending? This didn't even... It went into their graveyard when I forced it? That counts? Oh my goodness. I didn't realize that. Okay. Well, descend is better than Revolt apparently. Okay. Actually, Revolt is better in some specific ways. So, mono black aggro. Very heavy mono black. Like, just beat you down approach. Wastelands. What do we do about this? Well, Prismatic Ending. This is what it's for. I don't know that now Spellbomb comes in. Probably does. Let's think about what we can take out. So, I don't want to take out Force because I don't want to die. I think Teferi is probably really bad because they're going to have Bowmasters. Wastelands are probably really bad. Like, we're cutting land. I could think we can cut like 1 or 2. We're never going to be wasting them. They're mono black mana base, so they're just playing swamps. Thoughtseize is terrible. We can take those out. Take the Thoughtseize out. We can bring the Wastelands back in just as colorless mana sources. We do use a lot of colorless mana. Barrow can help us regain life. I actually think Barrow might be the card that we're looking for here. We do need to trim something else. Tamiyo is pretty good actually because she flips and then she debuffs their attackers and like distracts them. I'm not going to take out my token engine with any of my token cards because I do think that's how we kind of pull ahead because they're going to be trading 1-for-1. They might even be so bold as to like, yeah, I think Kaito probably too because they've got Surveil Yeah, I think I'm going to take out my high curve stuff, replace it with Barrow, which cannot be like, I mean, they can fatal push that for sure. But then I can bring my low curve cards back in, Tommy, and yeah, I guess one Kaito is fine. All right, we're on the play. Now we know what our opponent's on. This hand is very vulnerable to Wasteland. However, they have 0 ways to select for Wasteland, and I don't want to over-index on Wasteland. I think we just archive, get it out of the way. We have Tamiyo plus flip if they try to push. Yeah, I'm going to keep this. Barrow is like really the card that I'm excited about here, because once we start gaining life, we put ourselves out of their reach a little bit. And Barrow is always going to be at least as big as Nethergoyf. They're mulling to 5. This could be big. Our hand is just good stuff. I mean, our entire deck is just good stuff, basically. That'd be a way to describe it. The Stormchaser talent is situational. The Staff of the Storyteller is situational, but they're not bad cards. None of the cards that I play on this channel are going to be embarrassing. This is an answer to their Bowmaster. However, they could reanimate this, and we may need to answer their Bowmaster. Yeah. I don't want to put this out into our graveyard and have them reanimated because it solos us. So I'm going to put it on top, and I'm just going to hope that they don't have Wasteland. If they have Wasteland, I'll ponder, and I'll try to find more, but I'm not going to be playing basics. Okay, that is not a Wasteland. Bubble. Please wait to crack it. They're bubbling me. They could have bubbled themselves, but instead they're going to see this Bowmaster. Hopefully it strikes fear. Hopefully it doesn't say, oh, I'll just use this Wasteland before I... Yeah. Thoughtseize maybe? Stalactite Stalker. Yep, that is a card you can play that is quite devastating against me. Another bobble. Okay. Just unloading their hand. They're pretty in on this. They don't know that I have a Bowmaster. Yeah, I can't do anything about this. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking I do here. I think I just go ahead and proactively flip Tommy because that debuffs their Stalactite Stalker and distracts them. The other option, none of these cards really need to go back. Yeah, I'm just going to do it. They could have Snuff Out, which would be scary. Get my colors. Tommy. A flipper. Hopefully we're going to see some lands here. This is risky. Okay, we found some lands. That's great, including a plow, which is very important. Cards that are going to go back. I don't want them to Thoughtseize either of these out of my hand. I'm not going to be able to shuffle these. I mean, I could technically ponder to shuffle. I can't shuffle away Barrow if they go after my lands. Okay. So, like, this stuff getting discarded is not a big deal because it doesn't turn on Reanimate. A lot of these mid-range decks do play Reanimate. That's why I'm being, like, hyper-aware. So they could attack, and then they could also use the ability to, like, try to deal damage, but it's to target creature. It can't hit. We're in a very good spot here. Let's see if they have a Bowmaster. A Douthie. So I can plow that Douthie. I'm going to plow Douthie first. I think we just plus here. Keep this out. Distracting. They know we have a Bowmaster. We could just double Stormchaser here. Get material on the play. Next turn we have Ponder. I think that's fine. Yeah, if they have Thoughtseize into Reanimate, it's going to be backbreaking for us. But we will have the... assuming they don't have Wasteland, we've got Barrow next turn, and that's very strong. Barrow will be like a 4-5 probably, initially. I hope they draw land. I want them to be playing lands because that represents them not drawing scary spells. So we could double block here. I don't think that's where we want to be. So it debuffs. I mean, they can't plus it. They could push one of the creatures, and that would just... Yeah, okay. I've got plenty of life. It's 1 damage. It's also aimed at Tommy, probably. Another Douthie. That's fine. So I can just regrow Plow and Plow. Or I could jam Barrow. But if they push Barrow, they can sack. I think I go ahead and get back Tommy, and then I have Bowmasters to get the sufficient density of threats. Yeah, I'm just going to get rid of... I have a lot of respect for Douthie because specifically their ability to... oh, and this buffs these. That's nice. Can do some damage here. Get this Ponder out of my hand. But then I don't have Bowmasters. What do I want to do here? I don't care about this. If they attack in, I can just block with the Orc Army. Yeah, I don't think there's any reason to aggro them. They've got 25 freaking life. Let's just... Even if they play a Bowmasters here to try to assert themselves to kill one of them, it still protects Tommy. They don't have... they have to do it before combat. Or else I could just double block. This is perfect. They even know that I have a Bowmasters. They're desperate. Okay, that's fine. Tommy did a great job. Okay, and they opt not to attack. So I am going to go ahead and just deploy this. Clear their Bowmaster here, so I don't have to worry about it. I could have waited, but... Okay, and that does trigger the descent. Oh, wait, I did it in the end step, though it doesn't trigger it. That's nice. I didn't think about that. Okay, so we have another Tommy. Options. We could just go ahead and Tommy. They may not have a way to trigger descend, and we get this Barrow out that does crazy damage. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ponder. I'm gonna see if I can find a second ponder or a brainstorm, and then I can Tommy. Oh no, I can't do that. Actually, I didn't think about that because that will mean that okay, there's the brainstorm, but I don't have the land. I don't want these other cards is the problem. I think I just play the strand out. Yeah, and then I can regrow something from my graveyard later. And this does dodge opposition agent, which is, quite possibly in their deck. So we'll grab another Underground Sea to make sure we have access to black. Barrow comes down. I think with his Barrow as a 5/6, we can safely attack. Let's attack with both of these prowess. If they want to trade, that's totally fine. They can kill my Bowmasters if they want, but they don't care. They don't draw cards. Bowmaster's just a blocker at this point. So we have Stormchaser's talent to regrow Plow, and we have Barrow out. I feel like they're going to need to get rid of this somehow. If they can't, we're probably going to be able to win. Shoot the Sheriff. That does it. Okay. They come in for an attack. I might just double block here. Okay, they're opting not to attack. All right. Let's see what we draw. Ponder. Okay, so I can do the play I did last turn where I can see whether I'm going to draw another card. Okay, and I am going to draw a Brainstorm, which is great because I can shuffle away this Flooded Strand and I can flip Tommy. And I can do all this without worrying about Bowmasters. Blue, Tommy, blue, Brainstorm. So we're going to be hitting him for a lot this turn. Oh, Kaito. So good. I think I put the Kaito on top. I just play this out. I'm not going to use it. But I can use this shuffle after I've drawn the Kaito. And then Kaito should be like insane. I could even hold this in case they draw like a Thoughtseize type effect. There's no reason to play the land out now that I can think of. So we're coming in, just devastating them. This is what you don't want to happen to you when you're playing like an aggressive deck, is for your opponent to like get their bearing and turn the corner. And we're very much doing that. I don't even care about my Bowmasters. I'm just going to attempt to block. And if they double block or if they ping one or something, it's totally fine with me. So they can Fatal Push or Bowmaster or do any number of things. It's fine. I don't care. I'm just trying to reduce damage. And like, this is damage that's not going to be done to... And now what we can do is we can attack with these. And they may block them both. But if they don't block one, I can just bring out Kaito. See, I could just plow that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and plus... We'll play at the land. We're going to see if we can get them to be scared. I could have definitely, gotten something back like a plow there. So they could block both of these. They're opting not to. Okay, so we're going to go black, blue, white. We'll take one of these out of play. He's going to hit him, and then I'm just going to plus him. And then next turn, I can minus and I can plow something. I've already used my Surveil. Yeah, I'll just pass. Actually, no, I don't want to fetch. They play out a land, then I can't necessarily oppo. Okay, they scooped. All right, I think we were in a strong position. Because even if they attack everything at Kaito, they're doing like 2 damage total, maybe 3. Okay. So on the draw, this is definitely going to be harder. Kaito was good there. I still think Barrow's great. They did have Shoot the Sheriff, which is fine. I don't want to take out the staff. I could take out a staff and bring in a Kaito. I don't know. As long as we keep them free of Bowmasters... It's not that big of like staff is quite good. Kaito is situationally good. Like if they have like Nethergoyfs and stuff like that and we don't have any way to defend him, he's not actually that great. I think I'm going to run it back with this exact 75. The Wastelands definitely feel janky in this matchup. They feel like they do nothing basically. This is a mulligan. Easy mulligan. Public service announcement. Do not keep hands that cannot cast your spells. This is fine. This is a low hand. I'm going to put back the Wasteland. And I'm going to be ready to basically archive and then play this out, and like hopefully that'll manage a Netherglyphs. They're probably playing 4 Netherglyphs. Thoughtseize is fine. I don't really care about any one card in this hand. I just care about the fact that there are lands in it. They're probably going to take the Force. Oh, they take Brainstorm. That's fine. I don't care about Brainstorm either. Brainstorm is like one of the worst cards in my deck right now because they're on 4 Bowmasters. Ponder gives us Force, which is a pretty important function. I don't think we want more fetches. I probably actually should have fetched there because, again, Opposition Agent is a real card. I haven't seen Dark Ritual out of their deck. I think Dark Ritual is a mistake in these types of decks. So hopefully our opponent's not playing it and they're going to do slower stuff. This Douthie is a problem. I'm just going to force him. I know that I'm not doing anything, but like this is material that we don't have to deal with. Yeah, and Douthie does set us back. Like it stops Nihil Spellbomb from working, for example. I think here, I'm just going to go ahead and Spellbomb because it clears their board and I can be confident that like, yeah, I just want to dig deeper. I'm trying to think if there's anything they could do. I definitely want to fetch during my turn to avoid Oppo. If they follow up with another one, I can just bomb their graveyard. They might have a reanimate. Yeah, I think it's responsible and reasonable to wait. No, they could have freaking Bowmasters. That's the thing that they're going to have. They're just going to Bowmaster in their end step and I'm not going to be able to use this. Okay. So now I'm not going to be able to use it because I'm a dum-dum. We'll see how long they wait. I fetched, didn't I? Yeah, we just got unlucky and drew that. All right, so I think this is a situation where we can go ahead and play Stormchaser's Talent. We can get the card and we can wait. And if they Bowmaster, then we just fetch. I should have played it with the white mana. That was dumb because I do want a Nihil Spellbomb. I just want to do it around Bowmasters. Now they have a target for Bowmasters, unfortunately. But like I'm going to be using the minus ability. Here's the Bowmaster. All right, I'm going to fetch in response to that because I think they're probably going to put out Oppo Agent. Here's a situation where I do wish that I had Scrubland. I'm just going to take this Underground Sea. Okay. Okay, that's fine. There's the Bowmaster. Okay, and now I'll just delete their graveyard and draw. And if I draw a Plow, I can Plow and save my creature. Let's see. Oh, that's a good card, but it's not going to help us here. It's not. It's actually pretty terrible in this situation. But we have gotten a lot of land out, and that's not nothing. Okay, so they're going to hit that. It's 1 damage we don't take, but we are going to take 2 damage next turn. For some reason, they did this while they were still surveilling. Maybe they wanted to just get rid of, like, max the likelihood they get something relevant for. So I think they actually played well there because they wanted to trigger that. Yeah, they're going to cut us off white. Okay, so this just became a terrible card. Not that it wasn't already pretty mediocre, but it does mean that like they can't attack with their Bowmasters anymore unless they have a second one. But again, we're not going to be able to cast it. There's the Barrow. I think we've lost this one, sadly. I'm not sure. We need to draw a white source. Oh, that is a good card that we can actually use. I'm not going to go through the land. I'll just wait. And when Barrow comes in, I will Bowmaster this and I'll chump. I think there's a decent chance they have a Bowmaster of their own. This is a pretty powerful play. So that does buff this, unfortunately. Now we go to blocks and I just throw this guy under the bus 100% of the time. Next turn, Bowmaster will go under the bus. Like, you just don't let Barrow do his thing. Wasteland. Hate to see it. They've shielded. 2 cards left over there, but we have 1 card, and we're very far from using this because they're about to waste us. Oh, no. I don't think we can come back, folks. I think this is it. I'm trying to think of what we could draw here. That's actually one of the few things we could draw to stay alive. It's not going to help us thrive, that's for sure. Well, we'll just chill. Oh, man. They're going to swing with everything, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to Bowmaster ping one of these, and then I'll just... Again, we're like just treading water. They are executing their game plan, and we are not executing ours. And there were opportunities for me to fetch basics, but I don't think we were wrong in fetching basics. They have 0 mana, like 0 selection in their deck. So at this point, like really all we can do is hope that we draw like a white source, and then we have a chumper, and then we draw into like a plow. This is getting even worse. Okay, that's our last card though. White source? I don't think we're going to dig out of this. Okay. So our Shriek is broken. We're not going to be able to trophy, but I'm going to keep trying my best. I don't think that is a bad matchup for us. Like there's a saying, non-blue fair decks are unfavored against, or blue fair decks are unfavored against non-blue fair decks. And that holds true. Like their entire deck is structured around just beating you down and doing some mild disruption. And our deck is structured around doing like fancy pants stuff. Like they have a nice linear deck that punishes us and the fact that we're trying to be a 3-color deck. So I'm not surprised we lost that one, but I did enjoy playing it, and I think our opponent played really well. There were like these tiny little things. When you're playing a deck like that, there's less opportunity for skill expression, but our opponent did express lots of skill. See you in round 4. Round 1, we've got an exceptional hand. Unfortunately, our opponent is likely on 12 post, but I am still going to strip a card from their hand and hope that we can get counterplay. So let's go grab our Underground Sea here. I don't think there's any point in fetching non-basics, so our opponent's going to be playing on non-basics. They're probably actually going to Needle Wasteland, especially if I Thoughtseize them, because this looks like a blue-black tempo matchup. Okay, so lots of scary stuff here. They don't have a lot of mana yet, but this is the Ugin card that is ridiculously overpowered. This Karn Silex has to go. It's too powerful. Disruptor Flute, I don't care. Karn Silex is just a brutal beating. We will have to stop them from getting 7 mana somehow. I don't think we're going to be able to do that. We do have Harbinger in the sideboard. Yeah, I think what we need to do is we need to take Karn Silex, and then we force Karn, and then we try to Thoughtseize him again to get the Ugin out. Yeah. Karn, by the way, if you're unfamiliar with this card, it shuts off your forces and your fetch lands. Absolutely brutal. And then it's like a Pernicious Deed effect. It's fine. They may name Force here, but they should name Wasteland. Wasteland. Okay, good. Yeah, so we're not going to be able to interact with their mana, as I've just accepted it. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I want to get Staff out. That's our engine. If we brainstorm into a Thoughtseize, though, then we can take their Karn and we don't have to... But I don't even care about taking their Karn that badly. I think we Staff. And then I can put back, like, I'll eventually draw into another fetch, and I can use that to brainstorm and put back the land. But I want to get some damage, something symbolizing a plan. Because basically the way this deck works is it is the ultimate, like, kind of like Apex Predator in the sense that if you do nothing, if you don't win the game, they just win. They will eventually win. And it's unstoppable. Like, you can't stop this discard effect, this exile effect. Okay, now they have the mana. So this Karn has to be forced. It's just too good. And then next turn, they have the 6th mana in this Glimmer Post. It does not enter play tap. They gain 3 life because they have these. Okay, so their hand is Ugin, Glimmer Post, 1 unknown. All right. I think what we need to do is we need to brainstorm into a Thoughtseize. And if we brainstorm into a fetch, that works too. What I think I like to do here is just draw a card first. Okay, that's an extra card that we can put back with Brainstorm. I wanted to max the cards we see, and we're going to put back both of these plows. Oh, thank goodness. This is so good. I mean, we're still screwed. We're not out of the woods by any means, but we can at least play out Stormchaser's talent and like start hitting a little bit harder next turn. And I think that's correct. That does buff the staff. We do forgo... Okay, so here I think the color to get is white, considering that we have an active staff. And then I could Tamiyo. Actually, Tamiyo is probably the right thing, because next turn we can attack Clue, Brainstorm, and get back the Thoughtseize. We can force this, which is probably something we have to do. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and Tommy instead of Stormchaser. Yeah, we'll just do that. We'll attack for 1. It doesn't mean anything really. I think the odds of us winning this game are maybe 10%. If they have another tower or something more powerful than a Glimmer Post, that means they can do this immediately and we can't counter it. Okay, they did play out the Cloud Post, which represents even more mana. Okay. So unfortunately, that means we're not going to be able to Tommy to bring back. So we have to get lucky with the rips. First things first, I think we attack. We create a clue. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and just Brainstorm here. I'm going to leave black up because I don't really want to have to play the swamp out. I would rather fetch. Okay, there's the force. Wasteland does nothing. So they get an on-cast trigger, unfortunately. So they're going to be able to exile whatever they want. They'll probably just exile our flipped Tommy. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put these cards back. We're not going to be able to shuffle them away unless we ponder. I mean, we could ponder and maybe find a Thoughtseize. Yeah, I think it's worth doing. Because we want to shuffle these cards anyway. We have plenty of land for the game. Like what we're looking for is stuff that directly interacts with them. Disruptor Flute, again, I don't care. They're going to name this probably the Flip Tommy. And like, it just doesn't even matter. All that matters is this freaking Eye of the Storm. And maybe getting Thoughtseize isn't even that big of a deal anymore. But I don't want to draw those lands. I mean, I could charge up the staff. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and ponder. See if we can, if we find a blue card, then I could play Stormchaser out. Yeah, these are all bad. Okay, I think I can play out Stormchaser. Then I just have Force. Then I have a card I can draw in subsequent turns. So we are going to counter this Ugin. We get the charge counter. We're going to pass. We'll see. Maybe they exile this. They can exile something that's one or more colors when you cast. Okay, they gain some life here. They have tons of mana. We just have to hope that they draw a bunch of stuff. Like, Eye of Ugin is the scariest card they could draw now because they've got so much mana. This is targeting Stormchaser's talent. Fine. I wasn't going to use it anyway because like I don't want to draw land. What I'm going to hope to do is just fade them having lots of sick rips, which like probably half the cards in their deck are sick rips now, since we're talking sick rips in this league. Okay, so what I can do, I'm going to go ahead and just do this. White staff. This charges, this procs our Otter and our other staff. Okay, we've got lots of permanents to potentially avoid Emrakul Death later. I'm going to go ahead and do white here and just take a counter off it. Okay, Teferi, not super helpful, unfortunately. Let's come in for 3 here and we'll pass. And we are very much in like dodge death mode. Next turn I can draw like 3 cards if I need to. If they give me something good to Teferi, I can Teferi it. But we're probably just dead to like whatever crazy nonsense. Oh, that's fine. Okay, and this is like what we want them to be drawing. Okay, so I think I just Teferi that back to their hand. And then we can attack. That'll proc this. I think proc is the word I've heard people use. I don't know if I'm using it appropriately, but like I can't even remember what it stands for. You get this back. I'll draw a card. Okay, Stormchaser's talent. Let's go ahead and Stormchaser. This makes my creature even bigger. We get another creature. We get these triggers. Okay, this is what our deck is supposed to be doing. It's just that it's very scary doing this in the face of freaking Emrakul. I'll get my planes. Actually, yeah, I'm going to get the planes so I can draw a card. I guess I'll go ahead and do it. I mean, I could just wait. Okay. Now we're going to attack. Hit for 5. I think with the amount of cards we can draw, we can potentially find cantrips and we can potentially do a lot of damage. We can't use Stormchaser's talent at all. Wait, did they name that? No, they didn't name it. They killed it. So we do have a Stormchaser's talent. We can get back a force probably. Realistically, at this point, is what we need. Versus tower, even more mana. They could K command for like our entire world. That's fine. That's not good, but it's fine. Like we can't do anything about it. They probably get what's it called? Ensnaring Bridge, and then they can just hide under the bridge if they have a land. Did they already play a land for turn? They did. But like literally any spell in their deck should be castable unless they're just drawing, they have another land in their hand, in which case we can attack Karn. It's worth noting that our Staff of the Storyteller and our Clue no longer work. I'm like super ready to concede if they just get, what's it called? Yeah, there's the Ensnaring Bridge. What do we have to answer Ensnaring Bridge? We have Teferi. That's it. Okay, there's some mana. Oh, they play the Elf. The Elf's the other card in their hand. All right. So I don't think like they're gonna are they gonna matrix us, whatever it's called, lattice us. Yeah. We could draw another Teferi. That's literally our answer. Other Teferi. So 1 in 36 cards. We don't have a way to draw any cards. 1 in 36. Come on. Good game. I'm not gonna play this out. I think it's like there's no way that they're gonna matrix us and we're dead. Basically, there's no way they're gonna like find themselves in a situation where they have like a lot of stuff in hand. Okay. So this is where the Harbingers come in for sure. Harbinger's very good in this matchup. We could bring in the Prismatic Endings. Not wild about them. Barrow does close faster than a lot of the stuff in our hand, but I think these are all fine cards. I do want to bring in the Force Negations. Everything we want to stop in their deck other than Glaring Flesh Trigger is non-creature. Thoughtseize gets really bad really quickly when because they don't draw any additional cards. They just draw their one card a turn and then hopefully have the mana to cast it. Like, I would say that this is a great deck if you're new to Legacy to just play, but I actually think it would handicap you a lot to play a deck like this because you wouldn't really be doing much to interact with your opponent. So like just play Death's Shadow or Death and Taxes is my advice to newcomers. Like, I think it's a trap to play just because this deck is easy to play. That I think it will stifle your development as a player. Yeah, Barrow fine. I'm trying to think. It may be that Barrow is justified, but like, what do we cut? Bowmaster is pretty terrible, but like it can get some damage, like with K Command. I don't want to take out any blue cards because forcing is going to be an important part of our daily recommended allowance. Do we take those out? I think we could cut a basic. I'll cut a basic swamp. Probably cut a basic plains too. Because we really don't want to draw land. We want to draw business. And then maybe it makes sense to bring in no. Oh, thanks. My son just brought me like a drumstick ice cream. All right, I'm going to be eating ice cream. If it sounds like I'm eating something, it is because I am eating something. Okay. I think Kaito's good. Like pressure. Yeah, I don't think we bring in Barrow. I'm going to bring in a prismatic ending. That would have solved that, corner case that we encountered. There would just be one more answer. It can also potentially take a Disruptor Flute off the table. This is a mulligan, sadly. It's a great hand, but this is the hand right here. Okay, so what I think we do here. Did I take the plains out of my deck? I took the plains out of my deck when I was bringing Harbinger in. No, wait, I took the swamp out, which is unfortunate because I would still have access to black. Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to Harbinger and we're just going to hope. So I'll keep. I'm probably not going to ever cast this. Yeah, it sucks to put it back, but like we're going to Harbinger, so it was just a misboarding. Sorry, my excellent friends. I think I should have taken out. Well, I can't take out Wastelands against the deck that is literally like needling Wasteland because it's so powerful against them. Okay, so I think first order of business, let's Thoughtseize them. We'll go to our Underground Sea for this. And I like to do this because this, like they only draw one card a turn. They don't have any deck manipulation. They don't do anything. They just sit there and draw and play lands until they win. And if I'm infantilizing my opponent's deck, it's because their deck is an infant deck. I don't want to deal with Karn. I don't care about Veil. Veil could be used in combination with like a Force. Like I Force and they Veil. That could come up. Veil is very good again if we draw a subsequent Thoughtseize. But I think I could just ignore it. They have a pretty slow hand. They're going to start Cloud Post. Then they have Glimmer Post. So that taps. They have 3 mana. I think I'm just going to take the Karn. The Karn's the only thing that is scary. If they're able to flute Harbinger, that's a big deal. But they usually don't do that because I only have 2 Harbingers. And most players only play 2 Harbingers. Okay, wait. Was that a new draw? That was a draw for turn? Okay, so they just gave me some information. I think they're fearing Wasteland. They want to make sure they can get this Disruptor Flute down. All right, so here, I'm just going to ponder. I'm going to try to find land number 3 for Harbinger. Archive is actually really good because we can dump the other land. And then we draw Staff, which is not good. But like this land 3 is fine. I don't actually need to dump anything. I'll just take this Delta. And I can go get a Swamp. I believe... Do we have Swamp? Let's take a look at which card we put in our sideboard. I think it was Swamp that we put in the sideboard. Yeah. Oh, I put the Swamp and the Plains. Wow. Super naive of me. Yeah, we can Surveil here. I'll just pass. Okay, they get some life here. They've got their Disruptor Flute. I will fetch in response to it. They don't name my Delta. And they may name Harbinger, which would be extremely heads up. That's a good card. All right, friends, we should win this one now. Now, there are cards that they can cast at instant speed that can potentially get rid of our Harbinger, such as K Command, but they need colorless mana for that. And they do have green mana, so that is something. They can still cast cards like Karn, which is not in their hand anymore. Their hand is Veil and 2 unknown, I believe. So now we start attacking in. Kaito would be good if we could ever cast him, but we won't be able to, so he'll be pitch. I am going to ponder here, see what I can find. Force is great. So now we have 2 forms of force up, and I don't think we can lose the game as long as they don't somehow aggro us. I guess I just take the force now. Yeah, I'll take the force now, and then I will play out Stormchaser talent just for additional damage. Okay. I'll go ahead and play it out because we may be able to get to hardcast force. So we need to stop Karn, and we need to stop Dismember. We also need to stop One Ring. I'm not going to let that roll. That's fine. I'll force here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to hope that they don't also have a Dismember this turn cycle. I can use this ability to regrow. Okay. Look at the top 5 cards from Reveal Colors. Okay. So we're on Protect the Queen, but we will also take a... they did take a One Ring, so we kind of have to kill that, unfortunately. It's just too strong. All right. Thoughtseize would be a good card if we could cast it. I think we might lose here because their top decks are still alive. Like, they still can do a Karn. I mean, Karn is going to die. That doesn't do anything. This is another card that we can't use, unfortunately, because I boarded wrong. I mean, I absolutely would have fetched like a swamp probably. And I wouldn't have had a chance to fetch a plains. Actually, I did have a chance to... No, I just drew 2 deltas. Can we draw a force? Please, I've got so many forces. That does something. I'm going to play it. Amps our damage a little bit and diversifies our threats. Okay, the scoop. Thank goodness. Man, I would be so embarrassed if I lost that game. Okay, so let's get these back in. For sure. And I think the cards we take out... I'm just going to take out Tundra and a Underground Sea. We still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fetchables. I don't think the game will go so long that like we're going to be sad that we don't have enough fetchables. All right, I am kind of thinking of bringing in another Prismatic Ending. I guess I could take out a Tommy. It is a blue card for force. We still have like 28 blue cards. Yeah, I'm just going to play this just as an out to... Like, they could Disruptor Flute something important. I imagine they're playing 4 of those. All right, this is a freaking hand. We've got Tamiyo flip. We've got triple Wasteland. We just need to be surgical about what we target. I'm going to keep this. This does have Bowmasters, which is good against One Ring. It's just, it doesn't answer One Ring, but it makes One Ring harder to win with. I've lost many times resolving a Bowmasters against a One Ring player. So there are no guarantees here. If they open with like Planar Nexus, you better believe I'm going to waste that. Planar Nexus is the highest priority waste. Eye of Ugin's the other high priority one. You can get in situations where you want to stop Cloud Post as well. There's the Cloud Post. I think I'm going to waste that. If I go ahead and Thoughtseize, I might want to just Thoughtseize here. Since we drew it, it's a good card. I'm going to Thoughtseize. I might have to take the Disruptor Flute. They have okay, so their hand, the lands they have are not exceptional. I'm going to take the flute and then I'll just start wasting them every turn. Hopefully they never get to Karn. If I can Bowmaster in response, that's good. They're going to gain a life here and then they're going to have access to 2 mana. We'll see what they drew. It's scary because like I don't have anything going on my side of the table. I am going to put a Tamiyo out this turn, but not necessarily enough. Okay, this is great. All right. So the Glimmer Post is out. They could have crop rotation, which is terrifying. I think I'm going to Thoughtseize them again first. This does have flash. I'm going to Thoughtseize with this up. Yeah. I just don't want them to crop rotate. Well, they don't have green mana. This is dumb. Why am I not just stopping them from having a good... Okay. And I am going to take the Karn here. And then we're going to go ahead and just hit this. Okay, so their hand is Boseiju. They may Boseiju. They can't Boseiju their own land. Okay, they are going to go ahead and do the K command for 1. So they get to look at 1 card and get to draw a card and put like a token in play. And that's that. Like, we're gradually working through their good cards. So they get the two arguably weakest modes. They're not exiling any of our stuff. Okay. They scry one a bottom. Okay. Glimmer Post is fine. Tower was already in hand. I'm reluctant to go after Tower because it does nothing until they find the Planar Nexus. So we can let them have the Tower mana one time. That's a great rip. I think I want to get Bowmaster down and start doing damage rather than Tamiyoing. Because I think there's a decent chance Tamiyo just gets pitched to force. And also if Tamiyo is almost never going to make it all the way against this deck. There's the Nexus. That's what we need to stop. Okay, so we're going to wait. This has to be forced, unfortunately. I think the card we pitch is to be forced. I think it does. I'm going to pitch the Brainstorm because Tommy is still like a game piece. She can still do stuff. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and Bowmaster here. And I need to target them. I can't target the spawn because they can just sack it and make my Bowmaster whiff. If they have crop rotation, it's bad, but they don't have green mana. Staff is a good card for later. I'm going to go ahead and play this out. I am going to go ahead and hit this. They could get a sudden burst of mana out of this, but I'll be embarrassed if they draw a Planar Nexus. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and hit this too. I'm going to hit this because I think it's more likely that they... No, this is the bigger burst of mana. Okay, now I'll just go in for a hug, and I'm going to play Tommy, and we're going to just be sitting here hoping that they can't dig out of this fast enough. I could have definitely been more diligent in terms of keeping that Wasteland around for a future, Planar Nexus or something like that. But now they have to have Planar Nexus and Urza's Tower to get the big boost of mana. This doesn't matter. This is like a bad 1 mana land in their deck, which is great for me. It's Beseiju, 2 unknowns. Force Negation is good. If we get another blue card, we're going to start stockpiling clues. All right. And if we draw a white source, we do have Staff, which is not nothing. It is a little bit more power added to the board. We got a basic forest. Ancient Stirrings, this is a good card. They could find the One Ring and cast the One Ring next turn, but again, I do have Bowmasters out, so it's only so useful. They find Karn. They have to empty their hand here. They may play out the Beseiju just to... because they're probably going to want to stop us from being able to attack. It's worth noting that even if they get... Oh, that's so good. I'm just going to come in for a hug, and we're going to force Karn. That's a really cool looking forest, by the way. You can just imagine taking a walk through there with the natural shade. And light hitting through there, the shafts of light. There's the Beseiju. Yep, and I think there's no reason to take damage here. I don't think it's going to matter, but... Force is castable. We could regrow it with Tommy later. All right. So we worked our way through a lot of their stuff, but that's a great card if we find the land. We're just in the waiting room for a land, and then we're going to start cracking these clues. They're barely losing any life here. If they find a One Ring, it's not going to do as much damage. They can gain some life off the Glimmer Post. Yeah, they gain 2 life here. So it basically it's kind of like a time walk. They're very close to casting that big Ugin creature too. So I'm going to attack, and then post-combat I am going to Brainstorm. I'm going to be looking for a fetch. Okay, they're going to do something here. Dismember on that. I think it's fine. I'm not going to fight it. They're paying life. No, wait. Are they paying life? They have access to black. They have access to 1 black. I think this is fine. I'm going to let it happen. This is bad if they have 1 ring in their hand. I guess I could have brainstormed in response. Yeah, there's no reason not to brainstorm there just in case. Disruptor Flute. That's fine. If you want to play it now. I mean, that's the end of their hand. If we find a land, we can start cracking these clues. That'll be big. Okay, we did find a land. This goes back. If we Bowmaster next turn, it does a lot. We could put back the Harbinger, but the Harbinger is really kind of how we escape. But I'm thinking that if we just Bowmaster and then start cracking clues, yeah, this might be loose, but I think I am going to go ahead and just ponder again here and try to get on the Bowmaster train because I think they may have the One Ring. And that card we were looking at does not address the One Ring. This is a Plains for Harbinger. I mean, it's pretty tempting to just take it. Because we can be guaranteed, basically, to be able to cast it. And again, they did name Tamiyo Seasoned Scholar as their card. All right, so next turn, we're going to go ahead and put that thing out. And then we're going to hope that that carries us. But again, if they just top deck One Ring right now, looks like they top deck something. Karn, of course. If they just get that damn thing, oh, they're just going to blow up that. That's fine. But next turn, they can just do more just discussing stuff with Karn. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and instead, I guess, use a Bowmaster here. And I'll do it after combat so they don't block. They may block here. If they don't block, it's really good for me. Because I can do a little bit of damage here. They block. It's fine. I'm not going to give them the information that I have Bowmaster in hand. I'm going to wait. And maybe they do some greedy play. Yeah, I would love to play Harbinger. Believe me, I would love to play Harbinger here, but I do need to keep the pressure on. Okay, so they're -4. So let's see what they get. If they get the Mycosynth Lattice, we can blow them out. Please get the Mycosynth Lattice. The One Ring. This is fine. I'm going to let it hit, and then I'm going to Bowmaster afterward so I can get the triggers. Then I'll kill Karn. Black, white, Bowmaster. So if they find their K command card right now, they may be able to get out from under it by getting rid of this. They would need more mana. Did they play a land this turn? There's a Karakas. Okay, that doesn't affect us directly. Okay, we might be able to do this. Staff we knew about. We're going to play this out. Harbinger. Now I'm just going to attack Karn with both. We can't attack them. They're taking one. They can start drawing cards. They find another Karn. They can just put the Ensnaring Bridge down. They take one ping. They have to find a replacement One Ring. This is double ping here. Hopefully they don't find anything meaningful. And we can just kill them over the next 2 turns. So they're going to drop to 9. We're going to be hitting them for 7 and they're dying to the ring. We're hitting them for 8. Yeah. Like if they can't find Dismember right now, we're in a good position. And even then, like Dismember wouldn't save them, I don't think. Planar Nexus. 3 cards in hand. Karn would be good. Elvish Spirit Guide is a blocker. I mean, that does save them for a turn. Let's think about this. What could do them in? If we were to find land plus Teferi. Yeah, let's try to find land plus Teferi here. Then we bounce that and we just attack for basically lethal. Force Negation's fine. We can actually cast it if we play this out. Yeah, I think I hold up Force Negation. So they're getting an extra turn, but we do have Force Negation up. I'm just going to attack them with the Orc Army. I can't attack them with the other stuff, unfortunately. I'm not going to free them from either of these grasps. They have 9 life. See what they can do. If they cast that one giant Ugin thing, they do have sufficient mana for it, I think. It's just 7 mana. They can exile. They can't exile their One Ring. Okay, this hits them 3 times. 1, 2, 3. They can re-One Ring, and that is kind of like a time walk, but I'll force that. I almost never beat this deck, by the way. This deck is an ordeal to play against. Okay, I'll let them do that. And we'll just force with a cast. They don't have green mana anymore. They are not dead to their One Ring. They'll be at 1. They took an Urza's Tower. Okay. They're not doing anything. Okay. Well, I'm going to attack them for everything here. All right, we did it. Oh my goodness. I never beat this deck. It's like so frustrating to play against. But I don't know. I'm not sure if I made great decisions or if we got lucky or what, because it's hard to evaluate. But I do know that you have to close quickly. So we're 3-1 going into the final round. Final round, we're up against an opponent who plays a wide variety of decks. We've got a good hand. Jesserfon says, hello, YouTube. So this is where you say, hello, Jesserfon. Hello, Jesserfon. Okay, Rockets Theater. So this is probably Reanimator or maybe like a mono black strategy like we lost to earlier. Oh, Spice. Detective Phoenix. It sounds like a Ace, whatever his name is. Phoenix Wright, that's his name. Ace. Flying, haste, enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has flying and haste. And we cast this card from your graveyard using its bestow ability. So for 1 mana, they can just put that on a creature and make it 2/2 And it says collect evidence 6. Excel cards with mana value 6 or okay. Okay. I'm not sure what that's doing in their deck. We'll see. I'm sure we'll see. I'm sure we'll be brutally punished for our hubris here. Okay, so we have the option of going and getting an Underground Sea, which I think is good because we can get Stormchaser out and then we can just learn more about their deck. I think that's fine. I want to advance my game plan. Stormchaser does do damage, and this might be one of those matchups where we do need to do damage before we take control. Like, there are matches where you're the control and there are matches where you're the beatdown. If they are a wasteland deck, we're walking into a wasteland when we could have pondered to find a land. I'm just accepting that. We have 20 lands in our deck. We're going to draw more eventually. Don't waste us, please. And the scary thing is, I think if this falls off, they get the creature. I guess it's not that. It's a flying haste. Oh, there's the wasteland. Punished. You know you want to cast a 2-drop. Come on. Yeah, no such luck. All right. Well, we're not completely just rudderless, but this is not good. I think I'm just going to plow and start beating. Be mana efficient. Yeah, we didn't get lucky here. They gain some life. Our otter gets wild. This otter token art is just so adorable. All right. So I'm pretty sure they're on like some sort of red-black aggro build. This is a enchantment creature. So it is good to like have in the graveyard. Tarfire. This is a lot of types for Nethergoyf. I wouldn't be surprised if there were 4 Nethergoyf and 4 Barrowgoyf in this deck. Okay, we're just chilling. That was a very, very effective wasteland. I wanted to have my colors, and I got punished. Good news is they don't have a lot going on their side either. We still have Force Up. Street Wraith. They've got so many types in their graveyard. Okay, they did find a land first, so they probably win now. We have to probably fetch another Underground Sea if we do eventually find the land. Yeah, all this could have been avoided had I pondered. I would have just shuffled because I wouldn't have seen a land. Yep, we're doing nothing. They're doing nothing. We're doing nothing. Okay, they're fetching. This is the Bowmaster. I think this is a force just because it's such a power. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to deal with this. It's just going to loom over the rest of the game. I'm going to pitch a Brainstorm. No, I'll pitch Teferi. I think Teferi is probably pretty bad against their deck because they're a Bowmaster deck. Yeah, these Thoughtseizes are 100% coming out. These are terrible cards against aggro decks. At this point, I'm really just trying to learn as much as possible with their deck. Looting. Again, it'd be great if we had that Bowmasters. It would have died. Oh, no, it wouldn't have died because we would have forced. So we would have deterred this. They can just sift through their deck until they find what they need. They discarding lands, really flexing on me there. There's the Goyf. 6/7. Oh my goodness. That is a wild. We used to say the goose is loose whenever you got like a nimble mongoose that became a 3/3. Oh, look at my 3/3 for 1 green mana. There's a 6/7 for 1 mana. And they're going to probably do this thing on it to make it even stronger. Just go ahead and make it like a 8/9. And give it like, I think it gets abilities too. Flying and haste. Holy cow, we're going to take 9 damage this turn. 8 damage. Actually, this is an enchantment, so it might reduce the total number of cards. We might take like 7 damage. Yep, there we go. Phoenix Wright, put on your Detective Pikachu hat. This is a cool deck. I'm glad we can feature this on the Be Excellent channel. Not the style of deck that I would play just because it seems like it just get completely destroyed by combo, but it's fun. Right, and if we don't draw a land, we can probably scoop. I mean, that's a land, but yeah, I'm not going to show them any more in my deck. I think they've clearly got this. I wouldn't be surprised if they had more burn in their deck too. So they got Tribal. Tribal's a type. They got so many different types in there. Okay, so if they're going to be doing weird stuff with types, I'm going to bring in my Barrow. Thank you. I also think Teferi is terrible here, and Thoughtseize is terrible. I think Prismatic Ending is phenomenal. And Grafdigger's Cage is probably pretty... Spellbomb. Again, this is like a perfect example of a matchup where you would bring in Spellbomb, but you would not bring in Grafdigger's Cage. So the split is, well-reasoned in my mind. Okay, I think we take out some of the Wastelands. I mean, they are a 2-color deck. I think it's probably fine to keep. Tamiyo does seem like she'd be pretty weak, but she has been doing a good job in these types of matchups. I can see Kaito sucking here. They're probably going to bring in Pyroblasts. I know he's kind of like our top end, like how we survive and win, but we did just bring in 2 Barrows. And we have 6 removal spells with the ability to recur removal spells. I might take out a Force Because I did trim a bunch of other blue cards. Actually, like that's probably where you don't want to trim a force. Okay, but we're bringing in 2 Hydroblast. Yeah, I'm going to do this. Nether Glyph is pretty bad when you have a Nihil Spellbomb on the other side of the table. Let's hope that that helps. This grip seems freaking solid. I'm not going to play on basics. I'm not a coward. These matchups, it's not like they have Wasteland Recursion. It's not like they have Blood Moon. I mean, actually, they could have Blood Moon. Yeah, I'm just going to get the Stormchaser's talent down. Probably isn't even going to have like a single attack where there's not like a Nether Glyph on the other side of the table to block it. But we'll see. Dream a little bigger, darling. All right, there we go. We're actually doing something here. We're swinging in. I think it's Stormchaser's talent and then Brainstorm. This doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and Brainstorm first. Is that right? I think it is. This hand's fine. I don't really care for the second Stormchaser's talent. Yeah, I'm going to Brainstorm. This is a window for us to do this and get some extra damage and avoid Bowmasters. See if we can find a land here. I like those. We put back the talent. We can put back a land and then we fetch and we ponder and fetch and then maybe like that prowess trigger helps us. So I can keep this third land to get whichever color they waste us off of. Again, I'll be devastated if they have... I don't like these. I mean, if they just slam Blood Moon, it's bad. I don't think we want these. I guess we could leave the island just in case they have a Blood Moon, but what are we going to do against it? I think we want to find a Barrow. That's a great card. I'm not going to complain about that. Okay. So we're just going to try to keep the board clear and do our Delver impression. Next turn we have Nihil Spellbomb. We have Prismatic Ending, potentially exiling something that they put out. We have Bowmasters for their Bowmasters. I feel like my hand is very strong. If they Bowmaster our token, that'll be a bummer. But we'll Bowmaster their Bowmasters and have the last laugh. They have the Brewer's advantage. We have no idea what the deck is capable of. All we know is it's got a bunch of kind of jank cards that enable a very large Goyfs. Burning Inquiry. Oh, please don't make me discard my Bowmasters. Oh, I kept it. That's good. But we did discard a land. Yeah, Burning Inquiry, Tamiyo. Like if we can get a Tamiyo out, Burning Inquiry is fine. What did they put in here? Pyrokinesis, that's good to know. 2 of these things. Burning Inquiry again. We're going to lose our Bowmaster, aren't we? We still have a Bowmaster. Holy cow. I am definitely going to play a Tamiyo if you're going to be playing Burning Inquiry. Please help me flip my... So good. I screwed up, friends. I needed to play that Spellbomb out. That was a punt. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play out the Tamiyo and I'm going to play out the Spellbomb. I could have gotten extra damage. It's small, but it may. Okay, so options. I think we just wait and hit their graveyard. Like they may have a Delve spell, but they have to have a creature in play, so we can just exile this when the creature is on the stack. I want to wait. Okay, what is this? Rotting. And if they want to Bowmaster me here, that is okay. The ability is resolving. I get the card. Okay, nice. We got another one. So I think putting cards in their graveyard is an important part of what their deck does. They can discard cards to make this bigger. If they cast another Burning Inquiry, I'll probably just force it. No, because I kind of want to flip my Tommy, but that would be a 4/4. Burning Inquiry deck in 2025. Pretty wild. I think I just want to proc my Otter and just swing in. And if they have something wild to do, that is Something Wild being a great album by Children of Bodom. If you like Scandinavian metal. All right. And Something Wild being a relatively mediocre movie from the 80s. I couldn't get into it. Take the damage. I think we just pass with like lots of interaction. I don't want to ping this and then have them play a bum and then Burning Inquiry my board. They're drawing a lot of lands, which is good for it. I don't think their deck is designed to just... Are they even going to attack us? They don't even bother attacking. They're just hanging back. Not have a spell. Well, I'm going to go ahead and do this. And if you have something to interact with, that's fine. Oh, that's the best card in our deck. That is the best card in our deck, and we are going to protect the queen. So I'm going to go ahead and play the best card in our deck. See if they interact here, and then we force, then we're proccing this. Somewhat of a graveyard, whatever the word is, somebody who plays around in graveyards for fun. I'm somewhat of that person myself. And then we can get back something from our graveyard next turn if we find a land. I do like this card a lot. This has done some damage. It's way better than like a Delver, in my opinion. Like Delver, yeah, it would have flipped it. It would have done probably more damage by now. But the fact that we can get this back and we can Teferi this, I think it's pretty good. I would love to get it up to 6, but I don't think that's going to happen in this video. Okay, our opponent's going to go get another Surveil land. We do have the ability to hit their graveyard if we need to. Okay, they're not going to get a Surveil land. What are they going to cast this 4 mana here? What are we going to be forcing? Nothing. They're just fetching it in. Okay. Oh, which is a strategy that is fine when you don't have Brainstorm in your deck. You should. Netherglyph is fine. Land. I'm willing to bet that they don't want to see that many lands. If we draw a blue card, I can just Stormchaser's Talent, proc this, and swing in. That's an insane rip. Gosh, I mean, I'm like tempted to just, yeah. Boom. Boost that. Like, let's just drive the stakes in. Right into their heart. I'll just attack with everything. If they block, I can always deal the damage, and then I can just now Spellbomb afterward. All right. We only have 1 force up, but I think it's probably going to be enough. Netherglyph does get beefier. Again, we're continuing to use Orcish Bowmaster is removal for Orcish Bowmaster. As control players need to. I made a lot of mistakes after Orcish Bowmaster was printed. I lost a lot of games where I did not understand the extent to which I needed to hold my Bowmasters. Can we get the 4-1 final game of the league? I feel pretty confident taking out these cards. I mean, Kaito's good, but he's not where we want to be. The forces were a nice insulation blanket. Yeah, maybe we don't need all 4 Tommy. She feels like she's going to be really good. And these now spell bombs are freaking crap. Let's run it. All right, game 3. This is the hand. I can feel it in my bones. We're keeping... Don't make me like mind twist my hand or whatever immediately. Street Wraith. Surprised they're not playing Tamiyo in their deck with all the card draw. Like that is something Death Shadow can do. Play Tamiyo. Street Wraith. It's pretty fun. Oh no, don't Burning Inquiry me. No! Did I lose the... Okay, I lost. Not that badly. I got a replacement Bowmasters. Like as far as like bad things that could happen to us, it's not among them. Yeah. I mean, that could have gone so much worse for us. So I think, sadly, I do need to get a Wasteland here. Or wait, I can just get an island. I'm just going to get an island, and I'm going to play out. I'm not going to worry about Bowmasters for now. I'll get an island on Tommy. They can bolt her if they want to. I'm trying to think if there's... Like, I think if they have some crazy card, now Spellbomb, we could lose this Spellbomb. Spellbomb seems really important. I'm just going to get an island and Spellbomb. No, I'm not gonna lose my... Oh no, the island is in the yard. Oh no, that sucks. How vulnerable are we if we waste? Like that happened last game and we just sat there. Game 1. We've got 1 Tundra left in the entire deck too. I'm gonna get the Underground Sea. I'm not gonna live in fear. One of their Wastelands is already in the yard. I'll be really sad if they Burning Inquiry again and we lose the Spellbomb. It is worth noting that like they do go down a card every time they cast this. It's also worth noting that like Bowmasters is one of the reasons you put this in your deck so you can get a bunch of pings and like fury your opponent's board. Pyrokinesis, sign me up. That is a 2-for-1. I am happy with that. Okay, they probably have Bowmaster in hand. They didn't want to... Oh, the best. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play out the Spellbomb and chill. I don't know that they have any Delve spells, but I'm definitely not going to Bowmaster this turn. Most likely I'm going to Plow. And I definitely want to be ready if they waste us to fetch. Gosh, this is kind of awkward because now I can't draw a card if I use it. This might be Barrow. Bowmasters. I want to wait until they put the Burning Inquiry on the stack and then... Come on, you got a Burning Inquiry for me? What? Do they have the Phoenix thing in the graveyard? What are they doing? It says they're paying mana costs? Texas Phoenix. So I think I just Plow now and they just have this 2-2. They're down to 1 card. I am going to Plow this. I need to get rid of this anyway. I'll save my Bowmasters for something else. But unfortunately, it doesn't die. It just comes in as a creature, I believe. And then they can bestow this other one later. But I can... yeah, if it dies. Okay. So this comes in. I think if we resolve Barrow, we probably just win. So this does have haste. Oh, I should have waited until combat. Now they get an extra 2 damage. I don't care about them getting life. I care about my life total. Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah, I misplayed. Sorry, my excellent friends. I could be up at 15 or 17 instead of 15. Okay. Land, make it easy. All right. It's not going to be easy. So what we can do here, I can always hit their graveyard and just lose a card. I want to get the Staff of the Storyteller out because these do proc one another. This keeps them from attacking with the Orc Army. We still have an answer if they do have Bowmasters as like one of their 2 last cards here. Yeah, I really wish I had not taken that 2 damage. They do have the Burning Inquiry. Well, that's a beating. No, we lost the Barrow and the Orcish Bowmasters. It's unraveling. Arena of Glory. Okay, that's good. That was their last card. Do they have like something they're going to do? What are they doing? They have 0 cards in spell. And is this have an activated ability I don't know about? I don't see anything in their graveyard that has... Oh, they're bringing back Nethergoyf. I think I can just kill their graveyard in response. And I am going to do that. I don't want to deal with an 8/7. No, it doesn't matter. It's cast. It doesn't do anything. I'm so bad at this. Okay, well, we're not going to get a card. They are going to get the Goyf. Sorry, my excellent friends. I don't actually think I had any priority because they got to do that, but I didn't have to do what I just did. Okay. I will happily trade here for that Orc Army. It's not going to put anything in their yard, and I don't want to lose any more life. So this turn, I'm going to exile the Nethergoyf. You're going to get a 2-for-1, and I'll play out the Tamiyo, and Tamiyo will just chump this thing. I'm so sad that Barrow went away. I can also, I think actually it's fine to play out another Staff of the Storyteller instead of exiling this. Just to proc it. I love saying that word now. I just said it for the first time today, and now I'm like, can't stop saying it. All right, and then we'll play the Tommy. Again, like I think there have been several mistakes made, but I think our deck is pretty strong. I'm very happy with this list. Is it optimal? Is it like as good as I would like to respond? Or is the Saga list? Probably not. Okay, a land. Such a relief. Okay, that does buff the Goyf. So now we are going to take 1 damage here. Oh, maybe 2. What if they put a Phoenix in there? That would be so devastating. I guess they need a lot of graveyard stuff to do it. Yeah, but like I could have drawn a card off of that Spellbomb for sure. Both of our Barrow in the yard. I just noticed that. Our best cards in the matchup. So sad. They've been to Wasteland. That's actually fine. Because believe it or not, like my mana is still like kind of the weak point of my deck. They should go ahead and attack. And I'll just take 1. So this turn, I don't have enough mana to flip her, but I do want to flip her pretty badly. So I'll attack. I'll crack a clue. Or, I could crack a clue and do that and flip her that way. So let's save some life here. She doesn't have any like secret ability like Death Touch hidden at the bottom of the card. No. Okay, good. All right. Let's do it. Deck. Okay, this flips her too. I'm just going to go ahead and probably brainstorm here instead of using the clues or instead of using these staff because this is an opportunity where we can do it without having to worry about Merc. Or, I'm sorry. Okay, I don't want this Wasteland ever. I don't need Tamiyo number 2. I'll put her back. She flips. I can plus her. I can just get rid of the Nethergoyf. This can go get another Tundra. Yeah, I can just draw 2 cards here. I'm kind of tempted to just do that. Let's fetch. I can get the Surveil land out of my deck. I think it's the only... Oh, wait. I have a Plains? I'll get the Plains. Just like Bloodmoon would be super embarrassing if that were to come down now. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get wasted off of white. And one of the Wastelands is in exile, I believe. We have plenty of time. I'm just... Wait, is this game 3? I think this is game 3. Yeah, sorry. My excellent friends, it's been a long league. I think I won one of the matches with... This might not be game 3. No, it is game 3. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so if we do this, then Barrow solos us. I'm going to draw a card. Now the Spellbomb is great. I'll just play it out. Now I don't even need to... I can just trade. I can draw another card right now and not worry about Bowmaster. I'm kind of tempted to just do that because I don't think they're going to just draw some card that like really solos us when we have Tamiyo out and all this other stuff. Like Burning Inquiry could make this Nethergoyf very large, but I still have a blocker. Is this Burning Inquiry? Bolts would do it. Lots of things they could do right now. I'm fine if they kill her Tommy, by the way. She's just like trying to keep me alive. We drew a Underground Sea, which we can use for like basically the longer the game goes on, the more tokens we make, the more cards we're going to draw, and the further we're going to pull ahead. They have something in hand. I'm just going to let that through. So I am going to keep this Spirit token back. Just heaven forbid they find a Beargoyf. I think it's likely they have a Bowmasters, but now we have a Bowmasters, which is great. Plus here, I want to just draw, and this might bait the Bowmasters out. Okay, I'm going to play that. I don't think they have a Bowmasters anymore. I could put the Bowmaster ping on this, and then it's necessarily dead. I don't know if that's correct. Ponder. Just trying to find more token creation stuff. Okay, Stormchaser's Talent's quite good. We already played our land for turn. We could just play this out now. I'm just going to do that, and I'll get the card next turn. We've got an Embarrassment of Riches, friends. We might actually even be able to, because we're going to draw, we could do the thing where we just create every single time we cast a sorcery or an instant. That'd be pretty. Yeah, I'm just going to pass here, and then what we can do is we can block this, put a damage on it, and then hit their graveyard and kill it, and draw a card too. Please cast Burning Inquiry. I would love to put this Bowmasters on the table. Faithless Looting. Okay, so we're going to kill some stuff. Black. Do you have a Bowmaster as well? That would be impressive. I had the resolve to like hold the Bowmasters. Okay, so we're going to come in. I'll just ping here just in case, so I can at least kill this, because I can just kill it with a Spellbomb later, even if they staff token triggers. It's so good. It's so good, this interaction. Okay, and now your Faithless Looting resolves. I wouldn't want to be on their side of the table right now. I think we're in a very dominant position. I'm trying to think of how we screw this up. All right, I do want to kill this thing. And then after I've killed it and like the turn is over, then I can just, we'll kill this. And I think the bestow, they can technically bestow, but then what we can do, so it does die. I think I can just hit their graveyard now, and then they keep this bestow creature, but they don't have 6 mana value. They can't, I do want to hit their graveyard now. And so this is going to kill another Goyf. So we don't get a card, but that's okay. We got plenty of cards. What we need is to just decimate their board. Okay, and then now that dies. They can bring it back, but they don't have enough creature types. So they can still bestow this, but I did want to get rid of that. I'm not sure if that was right. Leave a comment with the timestamp. I know we're very far ahead, and he'd be like, who cares? You've got like an incredible board. And I do, but like I still want to play correctly. Hollow One, that's fine. There's a big creature, but my Orc army is approaching it in size. Regrow a Plow for it. What do I want to do here? Do I just want to regrow a Plow and start beating face? I think I do. Wait. Check this out. I'm going to use this. Colorless, white, blue, I guess. Yeah, we'll do that. We're going to go up to the next level. I'm on the next level. Attempt to say the Korean that follows that. I speak several languages, but I don't speak Korean. If you're not, I think it's like a popular K-pop song. If you're like, what the heck is he? Like, this game is so over. Like, how in the heck does he stop this? I haven't even used my Tommy yet. I'll do that, sure. I've got like tons of clues to draw. We're attacking for a boatload. They have 0 cards in hand. Yeah, I was really nervous. I was like, oh no, we're going to lose to this fair deck, aren't we? But it doesn't look like we are. I think it's unlikely that I need a fetch here. I'll just chill. And we still have Insulation. We still have Prismatic Ending. They're dead in like maybe 2 turns, but I'm going to draw half my deck, so it doesn't really matter. They would need to have exactly Orcish Bowmaster here. And they may be pretending to have Orcish Bowmaster because they're smart and they know that like I'm not going to go for it. All right. I think I just come in here. I could do the thing. Please let me do the thing. All right. Let's go up to level 6. Hopefully I still have a land in my deck. So I'll grab this swamp. I'll check this. Boom. Won't blue. Have to do this. Can't not do this. We got the top level. Now we can attack. And when they Bowmaster, I can just create yet another prowess token. Okay, do we want a Bowmaster just for... They may concede before we get to use the ability. Hopefully they don't concede. Oh, wait, I didn't even draw. I forgot to draw half my deck. It doesn't matter. My opponent's just like, okay, whatever. GG's. Wait. Let me pass priority so I can... Can I do the thing? Oh, it scooped. All right, that's a 4-1. The deck feels great. Let's review it. So, this is like this feels great. This is like great vindication of building a brew. This is a total brew. I looked at lots of lists, like of course Marcus Erwald. I don't know how to pronounce this strange European last name. I'm an American. I'm sorry. I'm not an ugly American. I do make a point to pronounce people's names correctly, but I genuinely don't know how to pronounce his name. That was a joke at the expense of Americans. So the list feels tight. I mean, like Stormchaser's talent is the real deal. We flashed stuff back. We ultimated it, which 6 mana, you do get to it in long grinding games. Teferi felt great. I don't know if he's a 2 of. He's definitely a 1 of in my mind. So you could cut this and you could bring in like a main deck Prismatic Ending, which I think the deck could use more removal. Right now, like the only removal we have is like Bowmaster and Plow and then Teferi. Drawing a Teferi when you already have a Teferi feels pretty bad. So I would say like maybe we drop him. We could also drop a Kaito. I've got 2 of these. Kaito is just so good though. But you could definitely argue like Kaito's kind of like a... Yeah, I mean, Kaito's another card that, you know, you get punished for redundancy. I think that the mana is fine. There was a game where we were cashed out. I think we won against like Back to Basics by virtue of having these basics. I don't usually play basics, but if you look at the list, there are no double blue pips other than the Force of Will. Like everything is 1 of each pip. So it feels perfectly reasonable. And especially if you just go down to like 3 Wasteland, you could even go down to 2 Wasteland and just play an extra Marsh Flats. I know the number of cards is not showing up correctly here. I could also see potentially playing a second Surveil Land. I know that's like blasphemy, but you know, this list, it could work. I don't know. I think it's probably wrong to do so. I do think Meticulous Archive is the one you want as a second one because you're usually fetching that turn 1 so you can turn on staff. And you don't want to have, like, you want to be able to fetch your untapped land so you can Thoughtseize immediately. Thoughtseize was an absolute all-star of the entire league. We did board it out in a couple aggro matchups, but I think this card is incredibly strong right now, and I encourage everybody to consider going up to 4 of them, even in blue-black tempo. I have gone up to 4 in the past. I'm on 3 right now. It may not be necessary to go all the way up to 4 when you have a bunch of dazes. When you don't have days, you should be on 4, in my opinion. I'm going to show you another deck. Like this deck, I'm not sure. It's also an Esper deck. By the way, I've got a full sideboard guide. We didn't really encounter a lot of the decks where I had to reference it. We were mostly encountering rogue decks. But here's my Esper Planeswalker controlled list. These are not listed. Actually, I'm going to go and make this public. I just don't want somebody to like snipe me like, oh, if I just go see what BXL's most recent list is, I can tell exactly what they're doing. So I always keep my more recent lists, like unlisted until I've played the league. But you can see like this is basically what I was playing, but with stock up. And it still has the Teferi and the Kaito. It doesn't have Staff of the Storyteller. It doesn't have, but if you look, it's very similar in the sense that it's like, actually, I can show you what it looks like visually. Here, no, wait, I can't because MTGO, like on a creator account, it like gives you terrible art for all the cards. So I'll show you actually my process if you're interested. I have what I call the loadout file, and this has like 4 of every good card that's in Legacy. It's actually kind of crazy that like this is like basically all of Legacy. Like if you're playing like blue control decks, but basically, you know, it's got the Prismatic Endings, the Mercs, Rakshasa Bargain, like all the cards you'd expect. Like these are the cards I essentially choose from when I build a deck. Yeah, it's true that Staff of the Storyteller wasn't in here. I might add it. I'm probably going to take out Delver. I think Delver's been like fully crept out of the format. I think with Corey, there's no reason to play Delver. Like I definitely think Corey is the superior way to play blue-red right now. And Delver dying to Bowmaster and Bowmaster being so ubiquitous right now. But anyway, that's a lecture for another time. But you can see I've got like decent looking basics selected. I'm going with Mirage basics. I think they look pretty sweet. Yeah, this one especially, this basic plane is just so cool. That weird kind of like blooming effect in the clouds. It's just amazing, right? Too. It almost looks like a Guru Swamp with that sun in the position it is. I am wasting your time, but let me just show you like this. So this is what I call like the loadout. Like if you think about like the Matrix when they're like getting all the guns and they're getting ready to shoot up that lobby, like they just like, we need lots of guns. Then all the shelves of guns like start flying at them. That is basically where I go to like load out for my deck so I can get the best art, which is almost always old border, OG art. If they've reprinted a card with OG art, like this Nihil Spellbomb looks sweet, I can do that. So this is like if you ever get a creator account or if you just have like a battle pass or whatever, it is where you get like basically they call it God mode where you can just select from every different card. I encourage you to consider doing a loadout like this so that you can iterate rapidly with good art and not have to like get like the weird, days, like the unpronounceable Egyptian style days or something like that. Because if you just type in days, like look at how many art there are for days. And so many of them are like new border. Again, like I hope I'm not like showing off too much, but I am really proud of this creator account and the community that made it possible. So thank you. Like if by default you're getting a white border days, think of how tilting that would be. Like, let me just load my deck in. Oh no, white border days. What the heck? I got to spend 10 minutes like fixing all these bad art. And like, I know people do like this days art, but like, I can't stand it. Sorry. That's just, give me my nemesis days, Okay. So that is, let's go take one last look at the reason I was going to even start talking about that is I am going to load this deck in. Here, let me get to the deck. Over here. But like, I want to play more decks like this that are like, a lot of people are playing Stock Up. They're playing Murktide, which Murktide is just a generic good card, but I actually wanted to lean into like Kaito, essentially, with like minimal creatures. This only has like 8 creatures, 10 creatures. It's got 2 snaps. Snap is pretty strong right now. We saw Snap in Wizards and it was doing all kinds of tricks and getting card advantage and stuff. Like I want to do something like that. The card that is intriguing about this is Inquisition of the Kozilek. Like this is a card I haven't played with in forever. I think I played it like draft because I like right around when it came out or something. I can't remember if I was playing, but I remember this card and I was like, this is pretty good. Like you don't have to lose life and it can be anything, but I do think this is kind of bad. So this is what everybody seems to be playing. They seem to be playing 4 Thoughtseize and 2 Inquisition of Kozilek. But I can't help but wonder if maybe this would be better as like a spell parrier. Because like what happens if you Inquisition your oops opponent and you're like, all right, I got him dead to rights. And like the one card that you need to discard is the 4 mana spy guy, right? So that is kind of where I'm thinking we are. As far as mana base, like I do like the basics. A lot of people are playing Esper right now. And I think one of the appeals of Esper is everything is like a 1 colored mana pip, basically. You can do almost everything. Like Stock Up, unlike Bargain, Rakshas's Bargain, it's just 2 colorless and a blue. That's very castable in your basic heavy mana base. And you can still fit in some Wastelands, but I'm actually not going to play any Wastelands in this deck. And I think that's probably a mistake, considering we played 3 Wastelands with 20 lands and we did just fine. Mana-wise, there were some time. I might have lost 1 or 2 games because I was playing Wastelands. But Wasteland was pretty clutch against the 12 posts when we got all 3 of our Wastelands. But one of the reasons I wanted to get Harbinger, Wrath. This is the reason why I wanted to do it. But actually, Wrath would be terrible in the deck that we're playing today because look at all the stuff it would kill. But it would kill all our tokens and everything. But I think it actually is good in like a kind of like a Tamiyo Bowmaster Snapcaster shell. So Wrath is one of those cards that I think is extremely strong. Every time I play it on the channel, I'm just like, wow, this card is amazing. Like this card just was like an 8-for-1 or something crazy like that, right? And with 2 white, that is castable, right? You can find 2 white. You just play like right now we're playing just 3 white sources, I guess. But one of them is basic. But like if you play a scrub land instead of a wasteland, then you have 4, and it's much more likely you're not going to lose all your wastes and you're still going to be able to cast. Anyway. That's where I am. I'm having a great time with Legacy right now. I think Legacy is an extremely healthy space. 4-1 yesterday. If you haven't watched the video, I won't tell you what video it was, but I will tell you that Oops All Spells beat me. And like, I think aside from Oops All Spells, I think the format is like practically in the sense that it feels very balanced and it feels like you can play like rogue decks like the one I'm playing, which is pretty rogue, and still, potentially 4-1. And the match we lost here was to Mono Black. And I think that's a perfectly legit, I have no complaints about a single matchup I faced today. I think those were all really fun, interactive matchups This 3.5 hours, my goodness. I think I got up a few times to do stuff in the middle, but this is a really long league. It's going to be edited down, but it's still going to be like 2 hours of video. But if you have feedback, if you watch this far, leave comments with decks you'd like me to play. I'm not going to do the donation deck list thing. I understand why Bosch and Roll is doing it. He's like a full-time creator. I'm a software engineer. I don't really have time to play other people's brews, and like because Bosch and Roll and Thraven U, they'll be like, oh, I like this deck, but we really need to change this, but I'm going to honor the spirit of, and then they proceed to lose a whole lot because they have kind of a suboptimal deck. Like, I really want to be going in with decks, with like every single deck building decision, exactly what I believe in, what seems to resonate with me as a player, my play style, and my understanding of the meta. And, like, I know I'm the only person playing 3 now Spellbombs in their graveyard, and everybody's playing like 2 Cage and 2 Spellbomb and stuff like little things like that. Like, I feel pretty strongly about it. Now Spellbomb was pretty good this league, right? And like why I'm so heavy on Force Negation. It just stops when it needs to stop, But I can totally understand why other people's lived experience, playing Legacy is different from mine. And I totally understand if people are like, that weird, Be Excellent guy, he's like a crank. Why is he playing like 4 Force Negations in the sideboard? It's 2025. Nobody else does that, But then you look at James Kisao, and he continues to just completely destroy with a freaking, like Stifle Cycle creature in his deck. I can't even remember what the card is called. It's so bad. But somebody did get me with it the other day. They stopped a fetch action. So, like the great thing about Legacy and the great thing about Magic in general is you can, in theory, beat people with like kind of like underpowered cards, like Staff of the Storyteller. Like, this card is not like a Legacy All-Star. It is very, very weak to Bowmaster. It is very, very weak to your opponent wasting your White Source and you just sitting there with the counter that you can't cash in, which happens several times, but it's a build around card, and Stormchaser talent is kind of a build around card too. And you get a little bit of synergy between these 3 cards, the Bowmaster, the Staff, and the Stormchaser's talent. And suddenly you've kind of got a pretty good deck, right? So that is where I'll leave it. But like, I love just playing Legacy. I love just being able to, figure out like kind of decks that seem to work, that seem to be fun and interactive. We had a lot of fun this league. There were a lot of crazy moments, and I'm looking forward to watching this league back at some point in the future and like enjoying kind of like some of our crazy luck and some of the times that we had just crushing variants. The time that both our Barrow Goyfs, our best card in our deck, got like basically twisted out of our hand through the, what is it called? Burning Inquiry. Yeah, the Burning Inquiry card was sick. So shout out to all my opponents for being chill. Had a blast. See you next time. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.